National anthems playing through.
Yeah.
Mad game today, mad game today. Everybody should be joining us now. Hey guys, what's going on, man? Live on Facebook, live on Twitter. Big shout out to everybody on Facebook as well and YouTube. What's going on, everybody, man? This is a big game. This is a big game, Ebony. This is a big game.
It is a big game. It's a big game for Wales, especially because Wales are the underdogs. And England, you know, because of their lackluster performance against the States, who were completely and utterly bossed around in midfield. In actual fact, they were bossed around in every section of the pitch. England have got to win. I mean, they just need to win, whereas Wales have got to win by 4 goals or more. Hi, Vincey.
Hey, what's going on, Ebony? You good?
Yeah.
What's going on, Apollo?
Hey, bro. Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. How you getting on, man?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. Blessings, family. Is it live?
Yeah, it's live. It's live, man. Everyone's in the house. And guys, it's one of those games that is going to be memorable. It's going to be a nice, exciting game. But before we go into that, just find out how Vincey is getting on. Vincey, how you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad, man. I've actually been enjoying some of the football in the World Cup. It's been a bit busy over the weekends and stuff, but still dealing with health. But you know what I mean. We keep fighting on. You know, we're good, man. It's good.
Yeah, I just came from the gym, which was probably a mistake from myself because to come straight after that and be breathless on the stream wasn't a smart idea. But let's go through the team sheet. Jordan Pickford, Kyle Walker, CC's debut in the World Cup, Luke Shaw, and then Declan Rice, John Stones, Harry Maguire. Him and Saka were the best players in the last game. Henderson comes in, and Harry Kane's captain. Rashford comes in for Saka. Phil Foden comes in for Mason Mount. Praise the Lord. And then Bellingham keeps his place, which is quite the surprise, really. So that's the England team sheet. Don't have to go through the substitutes. The substitutes are every single person who plays in top teams for England in the Premier League is in there. So there's the fruits of labour. What do you guys think of the changes?
I'm not surprised that Mason Mount's been dropped because he was absolutely dreadful against the States. So, you know, and I did say that, you know, if Southgate was actually serious about winning this group, he's going to have to play. He's going to have to put on Foden, and he's done that. And he's probably read the press, listened to people, he listened to some of the England fans, and he probably got sucked in by the booing that happened. Who else is there? Kyle Walker, as far as I'm concerned, is a better defender than the idiot that they had beforehand. Jude Bellingham. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's still there. Who else is there? Yep, yeah, Jordan Henderson. I'm not quite sure what he'll bring, to be quite honest, but yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I'm a big Mount fan. I just think the problem that England have is the way Jude Bellingham plays and his mobility. He dictates the midfield, and I don't think even with Phil Foden in that position, that changes. It's the problem with the formation, and this is something that England. I'm surprised that they've got to this stage, and they're having these problems because you really do need your 2 midfielders in tandem. So, you know, I think Phil Foden should be getting more game time. I like him as a player. England's got a wealth of options. It's just whether or not Gareth's got the formations to play them, and he's bold enough to make those changes because, you know, England shouldn't be in this position. They should be already qualified. You know, USA is a tough opponent, but you know, look at the squad. They've got players, and I think this is down to Southgate. Just needs to have multiple formations with the players at his disposal. This young squad has talent within them.
Do you think? I'm just wondering. Do you guys think that the US were underestimated?
No, I don't. And I was about to come on to what Vincey just said about we should be doing better. This is the World Cup. We've seen shocks. We've seen teams turning over. We've seen the African nations playing really well, and everyone thought that they were all going to go out. A lot of people are saying, nah, none of them are going to make it through to the preliminaries. And this is the stage. This is the setup to show your mettle. This is it. You've played your entire international career to wear your badge for your country and among the world stage. This is it. So we would expect to see some shocks. And quite frankly, I was surprised England didn't lose that game against the US. Yeah, I thought America was a better team.
The thing is that the USA are a better team, and the head-to-head games that of late have been very tight. But this is what I'm saying: the squad that England have, we can't keep making excuses when teams like USA will, England's not cutting them open. We're at a World Cup, with the squad. A manager's got to be able to make changes. Brazil made changes with Neymar. Argentina made changes, and you can see an attacking difference within the team. This is why I go back to Southgate. We've got to stop making excuses that we don't have talent in this squad. He's got to, in the first game, even though we won 6-2, I looked and I thought, actually, the midfield tandem doesn't look right. Bellingham was running everything, and Mount almost looked lost. And that's not a Mason Mount. The guys, he can cause trouble deep with his run. So it's about the formations and options that the manager's prepared to make.
So guys, let's say hello to our people in the chat who've been waiting patiently for us to introduce them. 18 says, dudes, good game tonight. He's going for Wales 2-1. Evening to you, Gary, as well. And Gary, if you want to come on, then let me know and I'll send you a link. G saying, hoping Wales 3-0 with 10 minutes to go and Iran are losing to the US. That would be fun, of course. We got a lot of people betting against England right now. We got a lot of people with from foreign countries who were not English, who were just going to be sticking the knife in. Gary saying going for England win 1 or 2-0. 18 saying, what you're drinking? I've got the old Desperado up here, which seems to be my World Cup go-to.
Accra.
Yeah, it's on the Accra. And my girl, her rum looks like it's behind her.
I'll be having a glass of Schlur a bit later on.
Oh, got a glass of Schlur. Gary saying, Mount should be sent home. That's funny, man. G saying, come on, Wales, dust these fools. Cam is saying, Vincey saying we. That means he ain't feeling Italy. How can he feel Italy when they're not even in the competition?
Well, I'm actually feeling my Vincey, my Vincentian football top, just representing. But you know what? At the end of the day, the England girls, they just smashed it up. And, it's about time that the men step up. This young squad, as I said, they've got the opportunity. So I'd love to see them win. I'd love to see them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Wales win. They're the underdogs, and they've been the under. This is their first World Cup in 64 years, and
big time.
I mean, fair enough. Most of the team play in the Championship, but give them a chance. Like Michael Sheen said, give them a come on Wales. I'm sure you've seen that speech that Michael Sheen, the actor, gave to them. I just think sometimes, England people get too wrapped up in England, especially when they beat a team that they're supposed to, like Iran. I mean, they beat them 6-2, but when they came up against a decent opposition in the US, they were humbled.
I think this is a harder game for England than the USA game.
Yeah, it is. Of course, there's a lot on the line. Gary, I've just inboxed you that in your messenger inbox. I've emailed you the link so you can come in and join us for the chat. Let me get back to the game. Guys, I'm on 5 minutes played. Where are you guys?
6:31.
Wow.
Same as Vincey.
Okay,
Not a lot's happened. Not
So
as
you
lot.
guys
Not
are
a lot.
watching it live on your television. I'm on the BBC iPlayer app on my Xbox. So let me just restart that and see if I can catch you lot up.
The reason why I was comparing, Gary, the women's football to men's is I just remember as a kid supporting England in World Cups, listening to the World Cups on the radio, and it's like I've lived a life where it's, you know, you wanted to play football and being restricted, and then watching England go into these tournaments after tournament and not get there. So it's like I'm looking at it from the eyes of a child who's seen the women actually win a tournament at home since '66, and that was just an absolutely beautiful thing. So, you know, I just want kids to experience the national team winning a World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen, you know, '66. I wasn't born. You know, it's I just want. They've got talent in the squad. They've got enough to do it, but they've got to be tactically improved from the manager's side for me.
And can I also say that, you know, the women's game is getting a little bit more physical now, which I'm actually happy to see. Not as physical as the men, but you know, but they're putting in tackles that you know they're just getting tough. Or they've got that. I mean, they're tough anyway, but they're getting tougher.
Yeah, I mean, this team doesn't have the toughness. First of all, let's welcome Gary. Gary, how you doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad, brother. All good.
Good.
Evening, Vincey.
You all good, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Just put myself a nice fat chicken stir fry. Just threw that down my neck, and then time for the game.
I ain't even started cooking because I was working, finished work, went straight to the gym, came home, stream started. So my wife has just gone to see her mum, and I've got my 2 adult kids in the house. So my daughter's going to be making some rice, and then my son's going to be doing a chicken. So by the time the game finished, I should be walking out to a nice cooked food. It's nice, isn't it, when your kids grow up? Watch me, game over, come and kitchen empty, no food cook. So my favorite guys, while the game is going on, I'm on 7 minutes and 30 seconds now. I know you guys are ahead. My favorite team, and I remember having
nice save. Nice.
Whoa.
Should have scored.
He should have done with that goalkeeper.
Danny Ward, didn't
it?
Yeah.
Was that Rashford?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Should have scored.
Saka
and his good ball by Kane.
Yeah, since you guys ain't talking me through it, let me see if I could do the commentary here.
Sorry, man.
Onto Rashford's foot. Goalkeeper came out just in time.
Right, I'm still 8 minutes and 15 seconds, so it's not even happened for me yet.
You're going to see it in about 20 seconds.
Yeah. I could go and get a television and put it in here, but I don't need to. I've got a big old PC screen here.
Yeah, no, it was a good save from Danny Ward, but Rashford's got to score there. You know, you're through on the keeper, on one. You got to put that away. In this at this level, that's criminal when you miss that.
Yeah. Was there a pass from Declan Rice, Gary?
No, Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane dropped deep, pick up the ball, slid Rashford through beautifully, and then the keeper come out. Keeper was quick off his line. But, you know, you've got to either go round him or you shot it past him there. You know, this is the World Cup. This is not the championship. You've got to score there.
Yeah.
Guys, would you believe it still has not happened for me? What is going on here?
Yeah, you've got to be seeing it now, surely.
Yeah, I'm 9 minutes, 9 minutes and 10 seconds. And here it is.
And
the ball gets played through. Yeah, it's just a good save. And you know what? The goalkeeper got off his line. Credit to him. Kane drops deep, he collects the ball, he threads a beautiful pass through to Rashford, and Rashford is one-on-one. Really, he should have dinked the goalkeeper, but credit to the goalkeeper, he's just off his line super quick and makes a save, and he keeps Wales in the game. It's a good move there, guys.
So, guys, what's your thoughts? Because you know that the FA tried to get, obviously with the World Cup being at this time of the year, the players at their best to be able to go and win the World Cup. Do you actually think that the players are actually? Do you think they're still worn out from the Premiership, or do you think they're?
No, I think they've got them just at the right time. To be honest, they played 14 games in the Premier League. You know, you got Arsenal players flying, Man City players flying. Liverpool, you know, Henderson hasn't really played much for Liverpool, has he? You know, Kane's been scoring for fun in the Premier League. So, you know, a few players injured like Kyle Walker and Maddison came carrying injuries. But I think they all went at the right time. If you take a break, you ain't match sharp, are you? So
And
to come off the Premier League, which is the hardest league in the world, I think it's the right time.
And that's what I was going to come on to. I mean, the players are actually at their optimal level at this point in time, which means they're coming into the World Cup singing. Yeah, they're all singing right now. Their fitness levels are at their optimal, and everything is working well for them in their fitness. So I think where they're going to feel it is probably January, because January, you know, there is a slight bit of a drop off after a hectic period. But I think that's the reason why once the World Cup finishes, I know Arsenal players are going to get sort of 5 days after they come back from Dubai. So there is going to be a little bit of a break. So it's not going to be as bad. But at the moment now, they're at their optimal level.
Yeah,
do you think they're taking? Do you think they're? It's still early in the tournament for the Premiership players, because they haven't really said it a lot, have they?
No, they haven't. They haven't. And again, they're probably pacing themselves.
I think they're probably, you know, waiting until the later stages to actually get out of gear. I mean, you have seen some flash again. Oh, hold on a sec. Oh no, it's
that's a replay. It's a replay.
Yeah, it was Declan Rice.
He
tried to lift it. If you see that replay there, he tried to lift it, hit the keeper's chest.
England have got a free kick, which
I think that when you said about the Premier League players haven't said it a lot, I actually think that that's down more to the manager. I mean, could you imagine a Guardiola or what we've seen Arteta do with the players that England have? Could you imagine them going out and playing for one of them two managers?
No.
You know, it would be totally different.
Yeah, because I mean, this is what I mean about playing your best team and saying to your players, just get out there and just give it your best. It's like they're very laboured at the moment, I find. And like I said, you know, maybe they're waiting until the knockout stage to really turn it on. But
I don't think Southgate's that type of guy. He wants to be pragmatic. He wants to win 1-0, you know, in a tight game, rather than go out and entertain. You look at Brazil, look at the changes that they made, and all they wanted to do last night was win that game. They had no even inkling about thinking for a draw. They just wanted to go and win. You know, he made changes to, you know, after in the second half, and they went out, they got the win. England,
and they know their fans wouldn't accept anything less.
So
their fans wouldn't accept anything less.
This is probably why.
England fans are the same.
This is why the fans booed when they drew against the US, because they were expected to win 3-4-0. It wasn't going to happen because the USA are not the same team as before.
It wasn't so much even about winning 3 or 4-0, Ebony. It was more the fact that England didn't look like they had any reason to go win that game. All they did was not wanting to get beat.
Yeah.
So guys, England are probing now. Free kick. Luke Shaw whips a delivery in towards Maguire at the back post, but the ball was easily headed away. It forced to Foden on the edge of the box on his left foot, and he drags his shot wide.
What do you actually make of the fact that because I don't support England, when Harry Maguire was the best player?
I think that shows how bad England were. If your defender's one of the best players, it just shows how bad your team performance was.
I just thought we were just so that England was so narrow on the left. It's like you've got a player like Sterling, and he's not even stretching. It's like what's that all about?
Sterling hasn't been in good form for Chelsea, and he wasn't that good in the Iran game. Right, he scored a goal, but I mean that was from like 3 or 4 yards out. But he hasn't really been playing well to justify his place. You know, could you give someone else an option before he did? You know, in the Iran game especially.
I mean, I can see why Southgate picked Maguire. I don't like him as a defender. He does cause problems in the other teams' penalty box, corners. He is a nuisance, but for me, he's a liability against the better teams.
Please don't let Harry Kane near this free kick.
It looks
I mean,
like
this is a
Rashford
game
is
Hopefully
England
Harry
should
Kane
be.
stays away from
As
the
far
free
as
kick.
talent goes, England, I mean, let's be fair as well. Wales have not played well. I think Bale's been average. Ramsey's been awful. They've got nothing in the midfield. I mean, Wales fans cannot be happy with their performance in this World Cup. That being said, I came in this World Cup thinking that England were going to not live up to the billing of the Euros. I thought England were going to be disappointing, but it's early days. And the US game showed the reality check for England that, look, not everybody's going to roll over and let you have your way, regardless of the big names and the big salaries that you're on, because that's really how everybody perceives England. So I think it's going to get a lot tougher after this game.
I would say I do like the kit. I do like this kit, the blue kit, England kit. I don't normally like England kits, but this one.
Again, for me, guys, the 1980, it's the Kevin Keegan kit with the blue thick band at the top and the red thin one underneath it. That's my favorite. I'm going to go through some names here to make you guys supercharged. Ray Clements and Peter Shotton, guys.
Free kick I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, we even had Joe Corrigan as well. Who made some caps.
That is the worst free kick I've ever seen in my life.
Isn't it, Gary?
Is that the dive you're not talking about?
Why did you take 4 players out of the game? Right, you put a 2-man wall in front of the ball, not in front of their wall, in front of the ball. One taps it back to Rice, who then taps it to Shaw, who crosses deep to the far post. Maguire gets up and heads it onto the Wales guy, and it goes out and they give a goal kick. What a waste of a free kick.
It's rubbish.
That's nonsense. What tactics is that? My under 11s wouldn't even do that.
What should have happened was there should have been more bodies in that box, so that when the free kick was taken, then somebody could have actually gotten.
Rashford and Kane,
the team.
Both Rashford and Kane can shoot from that distance.
No, don't let Harry Kane nowhere near a free kick. The guy's never scored a free kick in his life.
Yeah.
I take it you're not a Tottenham fan.
Obviously not. I'm on Arsenal 101.
I was testing you.
Did I pass? No. Every time I've seen Harry Kane take a free kick, I don't even think he's made the keeper make a save. He just thinks he can score from every position, Harry Kane. You might as well take the goal kicks and shoot.
So as I said, guys, I was going through some names: Dave Watson, Phil Thompson, Phil Neal, Trevor Cherry, Mick Mills.
It's my childhood.
Was Dave Watson at Southampton?
No,
Dave
Everton.
Watson was at Southampton. Yeah, he was. Yes, he was.
To Southampton.
He was. Wow. That's right.
Did he play for Everton as well? Central defender.
Yes, he was. He was a centre back. Viv Anderson, Terry Butcher, Alvin Martin, who you guys now see on Sport.
Terry Butcher.
Russell Osman, Brian Greenough. He was one of the Greenough brothers.
Russell Osman,
United and Leeds.
Russell Osman.
Ipswich.
Yeah, he was Ipswich Town, wasn't he?
Okay.
He was also in. He was also in the film, wasn't he?
Ray Wilkins, Trevor Brookin, Terry McDermott, Brian Robson, Ray Kennedy, Glenn Hoddle, Graham Ricks, Emlyn Hughes, Alan Devonshire, David Armstrong, Peter Barnes, one of the best wingers in Europe. Peter Barnes.
Welsh.
Yeah. Alan Sunderland, Brian Talbot, Tony Woodcock, Kevin Keegan, Paul Mariner, Gary Birtles, Eric Gates, Laurie Cunningham, Trevor Francis, Kevin Reeves, Peter Ward. Wow, man, that's going back.
And the funny thing is, when you're watching England and you really like those names, I remember wanting Graham Ricks to come on and him not getting the opportunity to come on. It's like you still want your Arsenal players to come on and represent for the national team. But boy, those are some names, man.
Yeah, they are, man. My God, 1980.
Is anyone else glad that Saka's not playing tonight from an Arsenal point of view? Or is it just me?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You can come on. I'm cool with that.
This is the type of game where you pick up an injury.
Yeah.
And nobody's really ever rested him. England haven't rested him. Atlanta hasn't rested him, so it's nice.
Come on.
Oh, Jesus
Henderson, come
Jordan
on.
Henderson, man.
77-year-old mother could have done a better job.
Guys, talk me through it. Talk me through it.
Cross
Well,
from Luke
it's a
Shaw
great
on the
cross
left.
by Luke Shaw. Great cross by Luke Shaw to the back post, and Henderson was all on his own. All he needed to control it, and he let the ball bounce onto his head, over his head, and then managed to just keep it in and lost momentum. But if he controlled it first time, he was clear on goal to have a shot.
Do any of you not think that England have world-class players?
Define world-class players, because there's a big kind of gulf between being a very good player, being an excellent player, and being truly world-class.
I think they have. Bellingham is world class at his age to be playing the way he's playing.
Nah, Bellingham ain't got a left foot.
But
To be truly world-class, you have to play off both feet.
not
Just
necessarily.
equally as well. Yeah,
Not
in my
necessarily.
opinion.
Ideally, that's the type of ball I used to play. But the guy's, how old is he? 18?
19, minutes.
19.
Yeah.
He's controlling the midfield for England at 19. That's saying something. To
Nice
me.
header
But
block.
he didn't control it too well against the USA, though, did he?
Nah.
Oh.
But Ebony, I think the problem with world class is whether they've got a world class brain, footballing brain.
Okay. Yeah.
Because sometimes, in the Premiership, that's why I have this thing with the Premiership. People say it's the most entertaining league in. It's not, for me, it's not entertaining, because if you can't transfer that football into the national level, then it doesn't mean anything for me. So,
Yeah, but again, though, Vinci, I think that all comes down to the manager. The manager's got to send the team out there set up to play a certain way. So you've got obviously Guardiola, Arteta. They're very much the same. They want to play the same way. They want everybody closing down, tracking back. Pass, play out from the back. Now, every manager wants to play out from the back now. But look at Conte at Spurs. Great managers, won trophies in England, in Italy, yeah. But he's very pragmatic in his approach to the game. He's not like an Arteta or a Guardiola. He wants to be defensively solid first. And that's why Spurs are struggling. Because, yes, when they go forward, they look really good and they look like they can score with Son and Kane at any time. But the fans hate it because they're not swashbuckling. They're not playing how they did under Pochettino or Redknapp.
So Cam says, how many England players will get into Brazil? He's even said Italy or Argentina teams. I get your point, and I agree with your point. I agree with him to a point, actually. I agree with him to a point. G says, very good players, yes. World class, no. The last world class player you had was Gaza in his prime. Guys, remember, G's an American, so always take a pinch of salt with an agenda.
I
think again, Cam, Bellingham could get into the Italian squad at that young age. If they had a young midfielder at that age, that legs, that height, I think he'll get into the squad.
But
and going back to what Gary was saying, it's about that mentality. It's like when you get on the ball, these guys some of these guys have gone to the Champions League finals. You mentioned in Spurs, but across the board in the Premiership, they've gone and played the highest level of club football. So it's not like they're not experienced to situations and playing against better players. It's like, so how can you transfer that experience into the collective for England? And that's the frustration for me.
I hear you, man. So, guys, the game, England are pushing for an opener. Another good move ends with Rice. But to be honest with you, I can't see Wales. They're just not offering anything. And it's very monotone.
A lot of the players in their half is in the
Wales are only going to be in the game.
They've not had a good tournament. They've not had a good tournament, guys. They really haven't.
Wales are only going to be in the game if they get a free kick or a penalty.
Yeah, true.
That's it.
It's only 26 minutes. I think they're I think they were right to play more up front because that gives them a focal point. So it's.
I thought Ian Rush was sitting in the studio with the guys. He's gone back to watch it. No, I saw him in a shot in the stadium there. He was in the studio with the guys talking to Ian Wright and Alex Scott, but he's on the field now. Cam says England are the only side being proactive here, yet still to understand what Jordan Henderson brings to this team, hoping to be proved wrong. But the opening 15 minutes hasn't helped.
You ain't going to be proved wrong.
I don't know why he's there either, to be honest.
Well, again, we're talking about formation. So you've got Declan Rice and you've got Jordan Henderson, who basically do the same thing against a team that's not going to penetrate you through the middle. So why is he having that type of play? You bring a Foden, who Foden likes to play one-touch football. You take out Mount, but you bring in Henderson. For me, it's just not allowing England to play their.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. Totally 100% agree. It makes no sense. But Henderson will push forward. But we just saw in that last one when Shaw put the ball in, he couldn't even control the ball that was going straight to him.
Yeah, and that's what you need. You need skillful players in that position. And if he's going to get up there,
Harry Kane. Jesus, man.
Come on, ref.
Oh, send him off, ref. Send Henderson off.
I've got some television. My stream's just reset. I'm gonna have to fix it.
I think you better bring that television in.
Yeah, go and get the television, mate.
No, it's an Xbox with a monitor, Ebony.
What's your thoughts on the pitch? This pitch looks cut up, man.
Yeah, it don't look the greatest, but it's probably better than what my under 11s played on Sunday.
Oh. That's better. It's fixed it now. It's fixed it. 18 says penetrated through the middle. Vincey just aroused me. Oh yeah, you did say that. Oh god, Vincey, you gotta be careful with these guys, man. These guys are like children who ain't been fed for a month.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while since I've been on the stream. I forgot.
They pick up everything, man. They pick up everything. 28 minutes gone, guys. I'm actually.
Oh, that's a naughty tackle, man.
Yeah.
That's a naughty tackle. In the Premier League, that would be VAR, then that could be upgraded to a red.
Yeah.
He's come right over the top of the ball.
Is that Davis?
Yeah. No, Nico Williams, I think.
Oh.
He's come right over the ball, full studs on top of Stones' ankle.
Go on, Ebony.
I don't think Stones is all that. He's just surrounded by decent players at Man City.
Who's that? Foden?
Stones.
No, Stones.
Oh, Stones.
No, Stones is definitely. He definitely improved. He wasn't great at first. He definitely improved.
Where was he? Everton.
I think I kind of expected more from Stones in his development, and he hasn't pushed on for me.
I think it's hard at City, though, isn't it? Because you're not guaranteed to play every week. Their main focus is really on attacking. It's hard to develop as a defender if you're not sort of like being tested every game.
He's got the same skill set as Rob Holding. I've always said that both of them players are like for like. Both of those players are like for like. Rob Holding, John Stones, exactly the same player.
What have I got? Oh. I thought Foden was going to break through there, but the ball just ran past his control.
Yeah.
England have got 72% possession, which doesn't surprise me.
Unfortunately, it doesn't mean anything with this formation, the way how they're.
I know.
When you have certain players, I mean, look, you've got Maguire there running through.
Oh my God, Declan Rice, 70
what
million.
was that?
Harry Maguire. Sorry, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire picked up the ball. Maguire picks up the ball. Maguire picks up the ball halfway inside the Wales half, drives right into the penalty area, and then I don't know if it's a cross or a shot, but I think it went out for a throw.
I can't watch it. I'm watching Iran USA now. This is
it went out for a throw, 5 yards in front of the corner flag.
It's like why don't you just square it to somebody else that can actually.
Oh, Rashford, come on!
You guys are gonna have to tell me what happened, and I switched up. I can't watch that football, man. Set that back and run. I can't do it, man.
Vince's watching EastEnders.
BBC Two, mate. Iran, USA. That's what I'm watching now.
You commentate on that one, and we'll keep you informed on this one.
I should be putting them through. 18 says, love in the background, Apollo. My best friend is in the LGBTQ community. Oh, I hear you. Respect, my brother. Respect. I know nothing about the flags. It's my kids that I have to get all this stuff from. I'm old school, man. You couldn't ask me anything about that stuff.
Join the club, mate.
And they're changing it. It's almost like they're changing it every single week. So...
The bit on the left hand side, that's I think that's the black pride flag.
Yeah, it is. This bit here you see is well, that's for the white queer. And Pete, you lot was talking to me about the word queer as well. In the 70s, it used to be known as a slur, but now it's not. It's
turn around and look.
It's a very empowering
really
word
shocking
for them
football, man.
Ebony, the pink is for the blue's for transgender.
Yeah.
And then the brown is for black and brown people. The black is for Black Lives Matter. The whole fling is just... the UK actually made this flag, and now it's been used worldwide.
I love it. I love it.
This is not good football.
It's not. It's terrible.
It's better. Well, you know,
terrible.
when you're more interested in the flag than you are in the actual game, then that tells you everything you need to.
It's as if they're scared to shoot. They're scared to square it. It's like nobody.
I mean,
I don't know.
Did you see that passage just now where I think it was Shaw played? Someone played the ball. Someone was running through, and the ball was played, and it was nowhere near to where the guy was making the run. It was actually behind him, like right behind his heels. It made no sense.
Yeah,
I think we know what it is as well. I think where we've been watching Arsenal, and we've been spoilt with some of the football that they've played, we're expecting that to come onto every game now, and it's just not. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I said the flag was Mark Ellis's idea. He had it on his wall and was talking about it, and that's where I got the idea from. So yeah, I got the idea from one of the guys from our forum.
Who's captain in Wales? Because
Bale.
It's Bale, yeah.
Is Bale? Oh yeah, Bale's on the.
Yeah, they don't use the kind of right players. They just use the best players.
Substitution for Wales.
Yeah, I think this guy's got a head injury.
No, you know what it is? When Rashford took the shot, he headed the ball away, but the ball hit him right in the middle of the top of the head, where he was ducking down.
Yeah, this heading in the ball is
it's bad.
It's dangerous, man. They're gonna have to. I know it's part of the game, but
I thought for a long time that the amount of foreign players in the Premiership is having a knock-on effect. I suppose that may well be true for other international teams. I'm not knocking the foreign players, and certainly not against them. No, but would you say the same in your MLS league in America? That league is thriving now, and a lot of it is because there's a lot of foreign players that are joining the American players, and your foundation has been built. You have a really good team, so it's not just the Premiership, G. It's your league. It's the other leagues as well. The Spanish league has always, and German, has always put their players first. Bayern Munich has been always full of German players, and Dortmund and Real Madrid and Barcelona. The Spanish players, they have always been the cornerstone of those teams. So it works just for everywhere else.
I do think we do have it wrong in the Premiership, though, because I love the international, the foreign players coming into the league because it's improved the league. But England need to have more youngsters playing in the games. It's not just about them sitting on the bench. You know, clubs can't get away with just having young players on the bench and just filling up the quota. They've got to be playing first team football, and I think that's when you're going to see England be in a position to, if I can say, dominate or get to the final stages of a lot of world tournaments, because those kids will have exposure. Because they're getting it, that look at France. French young players are getting exposure all over Europe.
All over the place. And look, Saliba can't even get a game.
Yeah.
Saliba can't even get a game. What's going on, T? I hope everything is all right with you, bro. Good to see you here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game, man. I got to be honest. England haven't turned it on for me, and Wales have just been superiorly poor.
Oh, good stuff. Good.
Must score.
Oh, that's a goal. That's a
Oh, lucky.
Off the bar.
Good football. More the
brilliant, brilliant move down the England right. Started way on the edge of the England box. Foden carries it forward. Lovely touch by Rashford. Nice back heel by Kane. Foden turns in the box and just fires over the bar.
Yeah. Oh. And that's what I'm saying. You got players with pace. Move the ball. Keep it moving.
Exactly.
That's it.
Just let them play like they do week in.
They're getting close.
But that was a great move. That just showed you Rice with a tackle on the edge of the England box. We break from there. Literally 10 seconds later, we're firing over the bar.
Ooh.
Good football.
That's what you want.
Luke Shaw, that's terrible, man.
So it's still Iran nil, USA nil there as well. So it doesn't really matter what happens in that game, guys. England just can't lose.
Here's Rashford on the attack on the right. Oh, sorry, left. What?
And this is the talent this young Rashford's got. This guy can run. Bit of confidence. He's dangerous.
As long as England don't lose, then that means that they can top the group.
Must score.
Oh,
bicycle kick, and it just went wide.
Lucky.
Miles wide.
Hey, Nate, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay, Nate. I hope you're enjoying the success from the African teams. Ghana, Senegal, Morocco, all them teams are doing really well. African nations just bigging up the World Cup right now. It's so good watching it, man. It is so good watching them guys bigging up the World Cup. So I hope you're enjoying that as well, Nate.
I think what Rashford was trying to do, he was trying to do a Richarlison there.
Yeah, you could tell that. You could tell that Ebony was trying to get one over Richarlison there. No need to do it over. He was in space. He could have controlled that on his chest. Then he's got a free shot at goal from literally 8 yards out.
Must score in this. Come on now. Send it one
more. Run.
No, come on. Roberts did good to defend that.
Yeah, but it should have gone back to Kane.
Yeah.
It should have gone back the way it came to Foden, sorry. Kane picked it up. Played Foden there. Look, he's through. He's left-footed Foden.
Foden's like, what the... All right, England have got a free kick, which Foden is taking.
Oh, Terry's saying my mic is a little bit low. It's probably because I'm leaning more this way and the microphone's here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it should be fine, Terry. Nay's saying, yes, I'm loving the African teams. What are they doing? Senegal are amazing today. Cam is saying, did they? Yeah, Senegal are through, bro.
Yeah.
They beat Ecuador today. Koulibaly.
What haven't they?
They say, yeah. So it's a good team, Senegal, man. Don't count them out. And Nay is saying that she can hear me okay as well. Yeah, guys. Ecuador was supposed to be one of them teams, right? But bro, Senegal played them off the park today, man. They got some good players in there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the last 16. It's going to be some good games, man. The problem, though, is England playing like this.
Did England play Argentina's group?
No.
I'm not sure. Here comes England. I think this is yeah.
USA 1 up.
Oh my God. Let me switch it.
They was always going to beat Iran.
Yeah.
Pulisic scored 38th minute.
And yeah, we got 2 Americans in there, and the first one says, "Yeah, there you go." Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you play in the next round, because you're going to have to beat someone that's a top team at some stage in this World Cup anyway.
I must finish. Oh, unlucky. USA plays some good football. I like in the way Timothy Weir plays like his dad, man. He's got that technique. Love it, that confidence, man. Love it.
Because I'm
Vincey, Nay said no. England plays Senegal's group.
Okay, so if England top, they'll play Senegal in the next
Possibly,
match.
yes.
Okay.
Who finished second?
Senegal finished second. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good
So
ball.
that have
Unlucky.
to go and play
Good ball.
Koulibaly and the guys.
So then the USA will play Netherlands then in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to say nothing because I've been telling everyone about Cody Gakpo for months. Yeah, and today, he's got 3 goals now in the World Cup, and all of them guys are just like, I left it on the chat, and nobody said nothing, man. I don't know why.
I watched the game. I watched
He's got
him.
£25 million. He's got a £25 million clause in his contract. Who would not take him at Arsenal? You'd have to be mad not to take a player like him at Arsenal.
He's
25 million.
Oh, come on,
Vincey, when we played PSG, we couldn't handle him. We couldn't handle him. He was he had 2 goals that was disallowed.
I mean, he looks a handful. He does look a handful. I'm thinking, okay, does he look more of a handful than Ivan Toney? He probably does.
But he can play through the middle. He can play as a number 11 on the left or through the middle as a number 9. So he's got a bit of flexibility to his game.
Good ball.
That's it. Good run, Bellingham.
Have a shot.
That's it.
Get him out of the way.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Why
isn't Rashford? Listen, let me just switch it over to BBC Two again.
Cody Gakpo. I think when you sign Dutch players, I think it's always comes with a certain risk, whether they're actually capable of playing in the Premier League. With the exception of probably Dennis Bergkamp, what other Dutch players I can't think at the top of my head at the moment. But actually, Van Dijk, these are defenders different.
Yep, Stan was a class player.
Van Persie.
Robin.
Yeah, sorry, of course, Van Persie. But I'm
You've
thinking
got Robin, Overmars. Percy, I love Van Persie as a youngster. You know,
Van Bronckhorst.
Yeah, Van Bronckhorst.
Yeah, but he didn't really cut it in the Premier League, did he? He was all right for 1 season with Van Bronckhorst.
And then he went to Barcelona.
Yeah. You know, Overmars had a couple of good seasons. And then
yeah, I think you've got to
Van der Sar, Man United, Yap Stamp, Iron Robin for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Dirk Kuyt for Liverpool.
I take my point back.
I mean, to be honest, I think even Davids came late to Spurs. I would have loved to see him. I thought his game suited English football. Davids. I would love to see.
I was thinking more of Glenn Helder.
Good old Glenn.
Guys,
good little player. I liked him.
Guys, England haven't got a clue in attack. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, they're not playing as a team.
I mean, look, Harry Kane now, he's playing centre midfield.
Well, he tends to do that.
Yeah, but not only just inside the Wales half, he doesn't.
Yeah, I noticed it in the last game when me and Ebony was doing the commentary. I was saying he was starved of service, and then that means it's probably going to drop back, and then he dropped back into the midfield, and
Henderson went up front. He swapped with Henderson.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Guardiola putting Henderson through the middle and dropping a guy like Harry Kane, dropping Haaland back to the halfway line? It would never happen in a million years.
Oh, hilarious.
I mean, for all the huffing and puffing in this first 46 minutes, it's we had the one chance with Rashford where we should have scored, and apart from that, we haven't had a single couple of shots over the bar. But the keeper has not been tested.
And this is what I'm saying. It's Southgate, man. You got to do something at half time because this is not.
And guys, look, if you get past Senegal in the last 16, you've got then the quarterfinals, and where you'll most likely draw Denmark or Argentina before a semi-final, which would be Spain or Brazil in the semis.
I'm going to say this to you now. Yeah, England will get knocked out in the knockout stages.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get past Argentina or Denmark.
Oh,
Okay, so
Luke Shaw, what are you doing?
How does this work? If USA win, Wales are out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Wales have to beat England by 4 goals, don't they?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's right. Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. So,
Right.
Harry Maguire's going to score now. Watch this. What a feeling.
if he scores, that'll be the day.
He's a handful at corners, though.
Not with a ball like that, yeah.
No.
Oh, see? Oh, keeper caught it right on the line. I thought that was going to loop into the far corner from John Stones there.
So here's the joke. If France beat Argentina or Mexico or Poland in the last 16, then England, instead of playing Argentina, England will have to play France in the quarterfinals.
I think we've got a better chance of beating Argentina. They don't look all that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't want to come up against France or Brazil to the final.
Yeah, a lot of people are bigging them up, man, but I'm not feeling them at the moment.
Nah, I think I spent too much time diving.
I couldn't say England. Right now, I couldn't say England would beat Argentina. It'll be a great game.
We got a lot of Americans in the stream, guys. Jeez.
I think it'd be one that these youngsters will live for if it happens. But yeah, they've got to play better football, man. This is my biggest problem with England. They go up against better teams. They've got to play better.
What's these guys saying? G's saying England haven't scored in over 135 minutes of football. You dudes suck.
I'm not.
And he says,
Alan.
And he says, Captain America. He's talking about Pulisic. Captain America scored for us.
In the top corner.
US will go further than England. Bank it.
Over the bar.
But it went in Rose's head.
Nearly in the top corner if there was another goal on top.
Yeah, but it ended up in Rose's head.
Did you see the way that Maguire got through there? Pure determination to get his head on the ball there, ahead of Moore.
He's got good technique, Joe Allen.
Yeah.
Half time.
Rubbish.
Total rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, Bellingham hasn't been involved. Henderson hasn't been involved. Foden hasn't been involved. You know, he's had that one little chance, you know, but he hasn't really done anything. The other side's been dead. Rashford had a chance. You know, you want to see more, don't you? You want to see more. You want to see them creating more. You want to see the forwards having shots and making runs. Rashford made one run. Foden had one run. It's just not good enough. We're still top of the group. 3 goals. So if USA win by another 3 goals, they then top the group.
Yep. Literally, yeah. If it stays like this, yeah. Of course, a goal will change everything. Nay is saying boring footy again. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why we're here having conversation. And I hope Ebony doesn't dive out the window in boredom.
Ebony's had enough.
Listen, if that was Jamaica, I'd be more upset.
Whoa!
What's going on out the window, Ebony? Talk us through it.
Darkness and a few people.
That's more interesting than the first start.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Look, guys. Seriously, guys, give credit to Wales. They've defended well. in the first half, especially when England have found themselves in dangerous areas. I think that they've handled and managed England really well. Outside of that, let me just change the banner to half time because we're actually summarising the game. Half time. Outside of that, England have pretty much offered nothing. Now I'm just about to go and look at the stats, which is going to be very, very disappointing. You're talking about England 140. Well, how many shots have they actually had on target? They have had, wow, England
None.
England have had 9 shots and 2 on target. And Wales have had 2 shots and none on target. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not been the greatest. Sorry, go on, Gary.
I mean, to be honest, it's been pretty easy for Wales to defend because everything's been in front of them. Apart from the one chance that Rashford had in the first few minutes. Everything else has been in front of them. And it's easy to defend when you get men behind the ball. It's easy to defend if the team's not playing quick enough. It's easy to defend everything that's in front of you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, overall, guys, look, England have dominated play, but there's nothing coming from Wales. Wales look like they're heading home, guys, because when you allow a team to come on you, the plan has to be counter-attacking, and they don't have the players to submit that type of tactical footprint on the game, which means that this is just going to be England having 70-75% of possession, Wales getting the ball back and losing it in the midfield, and England piling on the pressure. At some point, you'd hope that England are going to convert one of their chances, but they're not actually good chances at the moment. So we're looking at 0-0 here, and it's not great, but what it does is it gets England through. Terry saying, dead game, just through Sterling for Rashford, Wales playing on the counter-attack. It's not in them. Yeah, it's not in them. That's not their style. If you had somebody like Song playing, or if you had someone like Vardy or someone with pace, alertness, someone who can finish, makes great runs into the box, also, then you could, or let's sum it up like this. If you had an Aaron Ramsey in his prime, then you could say, yeah, you're going to hurt them. But you ain't going to. How old is Aaron Ramsey? Let's just check this.
32.
Right.
Ramsey's finished though, isn't he? I mean, let's have it right. He's done for now.
So Aaron Ramsey is going to be 32 next month. Yeah. Gareth Bale.
402.
And Gareth Bale is
34?
He's 33. So if you're expecting these guys to get you on the counter attack, no.
Well, maybe Gareth Bale still got a bit of pace, but Ramsey no. But
yeah,
Wales have only got Gareth Bale, didn't they? You know, from a free kick outside the area. But Wales haven't even gone down. They've only been down England's 18-yard box twice in the game.
Yeah, they have. So it's not a great game, guys. But you've got us to keep you company, so there is that.
I mean, to be fair, Wales were not going to progress too far in this competition anyway. I just don't think they've got the players to do it. Really?
Yeah. All right, let me go and get another drink, guys. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, good idea. Drinks break.
Yeah. So Vincey and anybody in the chat, do Wales have any good players in your opinion? Apart from Bale and Ramsey, I mean, Allen looks good.
I think Wales have good players. The problem is they don't have as technically gifted players as England, but they play as a team. So playing as a team can actually overcome those situations, and you see it. You know, it's. I think second half you'll see more from Wales. I don't think they have the legs to play 90 minutes of attacking football.
I mean, they haven't really attacked though. I mean, like apart from Allen, really.
and I don't think they're going to be able to get the goals that they need to. But again, this is not so much an indictment on them. This is an indictment on England and how they set up for a game like this. You know, for me, their formation breeds fear. So, you know, we're talking about, do Wales have good players? But England's formation and the players they've got on there look like they're scared of Wales. So it's you know, I just think England just need to have more confidence in the players' ability, get players out there that's going to play their identity of football and allow them to play. You know, in that one flowing move from the edge of our box to attack, you know, it was free-flowing football, beautiful football, went to a shot with Foden. That's what you want to see England doing right now. Not this huff and puffing foolishness, not having Maguire dribbling the ball from the halfway line into the edge of the box and then having a cross shot that goes out for a throw-in. You know, that's just foolishness, you know. And if you're seeing that from an England team in the first half, that's shown to me that they're frustrated because they haven't broken down Wales. And again, I go back to the formation and the players that they have. It's just not allowing them to, because Wales just sit back, have men behind the ball, and England don't have enough of those players unless they're playing that quick one-touch football to cut through them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Wales and they're just playing like a Bolton for me, you know.
Bolton.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's, you know, if you're a lesser nation, or if you're lesser quality in areas, that's what you've got to do to stay in the game. And you know, that's why I say the onus is on England. England are making this game look drab. You know, most teams having 70% of football, you're going to expect better chances. And England haven't produced, so it's showing you can have all this possession. It's like England don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, but are you actually surprised that England haven't produced anything? Because I'm not.
I'm surprised at the formation against Wales. I don't know who they're scared of through the middle for Wales to have Henderson and Declan Rice. It just baffles me. You know, we could play 2 or 3 up front and the game will change.
I think sometimes we see it with Arsenal, don't we? You know, like when there's a little bit of short of confidence and the balls are getting played sideways, backwards, rather than forwards. And then once they get the confidence and start playing forwards, it just kind of flows from there. And they just showed a good clip on the adverts, on the highlights, where I think it was Maguire had the ball and the ball through to Kane was wide open, but he chose to go back across to Stones. And that's, you know, if you get it up to your front man, let him hold it up and get the players around him, moving off of him, you know, a little layoff, someone making a run, you know, you can open up the defence. But if you're not trying, you're never going to get there.
It's not going to happen, yeah.
And I don't know why Kane is playing so deep. I mean, he's just not that type of player.
Adds nothing. You know, he had a beautiful assist in that first game. I like what he did. He got the ball, looked up early, crossed it, Sterling, back in the net. That's great if you're going to do that. But, you know, Harry Kane's saying he wants to score in every game. Well, you're not going to score if you take up the positions that you're taking up.
You're not going to score from the halfway line. That's just ridiculous. You know, let him drop on the edge of the box. That's fine. He can shoot. He can slide the ball through like he did for Rashford. You know, but if you're dropping onto the halfway line, I mean, what is that about? Yeah. Spurs scored 50 odd goals for England. So many goals for Spurs, I don't even know. Right? You know, he's gonna break the Premier League scoring record. Yeah. Of 260. That's a given. You know, unless he suffers a serious career-threatening injury. But you know, you don't want him on the halfway line picking things up from there. That in my mind is a waste of a guy's talents. You know, but I just think, I mean, Foden, I wanted him in the team, but I'm not so sure he's going to be allowed to do what he does for City, and I'm not so sure that he's got the players around him to allow him to do that either.
And this is what I'm saying. It's like you look at that central midfielder who's going to play like a De Bruyne, who's going to keep that ball moving, and England really struggle in that department. Really struggle. For all the players that they have.
You saw it against the USA. You know, they struggled to. The midfield just struggled to get out of that area. They were just poor. And, you know, you'd expect, I don't know, I mean, you'd expect, you know, some improvement against Wales, but I don't know. I mean, it's looking like a 0-0 anyway, unless Michael Sheen is in that Wales dressing room.
I think most of England's midfielders are all the same, aren't they? Rice, Phillips, Henderson, they're all the same. You're not going to get defence splitting balls from them. Maybe one every so often, but you're not going to get them driving forward and providing quality.
And that's what
England missed that player.
Yeah, I'm watching the American-Iran game. Everyone's talking about it at the moment. G says, Jesus Christ, G. It says, wonder if we may look at Musa as Partey's understudy. He's an Highland boy after all. And he's talking to a few of the other guys there. He says, Iran and USA is the best atmosphere I've seen so far. Fans were separated into different ends of the field as compared to other matches where everybody is mixed, resulting in a chant fest end to end. Stewarding is the disgrace, though. Too many Iranians arrested for just a simple T-shirt. Americans are actually behaving themselves. He's saying, what an awful performance by England again. If Wales weren't so piss poor, they'd be in trouble. And then Cam says, Americans are all over the Iranians. It should be 2-0. And then Cam says, if Arteta and Edu are really all that, whilst the rest of the top teams in England fight over Bellingham and Rice, we should have spent 100 million on Musa and Adams and can complete our midfield for the next decade.
I like that. That was it. McKinney.
Yeah, then McKinney. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked decent the other night.
He did. He played Declan Rice off the park, man. He played him off the park.
I think Declan Rice, if he went to a bigger team, I think he'd be a better player. But at West Ham, it's kind of like Grealish when he's gone to City now. You don't see him. You know, he's not that big fish in a small pond anymore. I think certain players get found out. I'm not too sure about Declan Rice.
Well, it was a lot of our opinions was that Calvin Phillips was just as good as Declan Rice. He just didn't get the accolades because, you know, he played for Leeds, right? But he was just as good, and he cost half or a third of what Declan Rice was worth. Once Declan Rice, they were talking about 80 million, 100 million, and all that. That takes him. It's like Will Zaha. That just takes you out of the market. Nobody's doing that foolishness. But Calvin Phillips, it's disappointing he's got to Man City because guess what? You ain't even ever going to see the guy play. I mean, I don't know how many games he's played in or how much he's featured so far, but I can tell you it isn't much. I think I've only seen him once play for Man City this season, which is terrible when you consider he started in the England midfield.
I remember saying at the time when Phillips was available, would people take him at Arsenal? And the wider opinion was no.
He's a good player. He reminds me of Francis Coquelin, which is just a big respect to him as a player. But here it is.
Oh, right, Gareth Bale, they've taken Gareth Bale off.
Oh, wow.
Bale is on the bench. He's been taken off.
Wow.
Oh, what a terrible touch, Rashford. Terrible touch.
So are they now making it easier for England? Are they doing England a favour by taking him off?
Well, he might be injured, but I can't see them taking him off if he's not injured. Surely not in a game of such importance for them. I mean, they're not gonna win by 4 goals, but you know, a free kick or you know, if he takes a corner, he's good with his head. Strange
I
decision.
think England would be pleased how the game's going because they're in total control. But the problem that Wales is having is they don't know what to do on the counter when they win the ball. They don't know whether they're coming or going. They can't get behind the England back line. They got no width. They're getting caught in between the midfield,
That's
and
the
then
push,
they're losing the ball. So they're in trouble, really. I mean, England should really take the initiative in the second half. They really should. But I don't know whether it's who's the manager. It's Brendan Johnson. I don't know whether Brendan Johnson is the guy that's come in for Gareth Bale. I don't know whether it's for tactical or an injury.
Rob Page is the Wales manager.
Yeah. So here we go, guys. Second half is underway. England, look for England to start ramping up the pressure now because they really should be playing better than this. They really should be.
Poor movement.
It's better than the ball. He turns around in the circle. No one's running forward. He has to knock it back. That's what I mean about playing forward. You've got to have that confidence to someone making a run, or you've got to have that confidence to play forward and back yourself.
Mm.
Oh, Brendan Johnson from Nottingham Forest. Is that the guy they just brought on?
Yeah.
Go on, Foden. That's it. Go on, Foden. Great run, Foden. Brilliant run. Free kick, edge of the Wales penalty area. Brilliant run by Foden. Took 4 people to bring him down, I think it was.
Yeah, G saying Musa has always been a top prospect, but he's always been playing a wing for Valencia. He's showing that he can do it in the midfield 3 now. Bring him home. And then T is saying England need to score with that amount of possession or they could get embarrassed. Yeah, it happens. It happens. The question, though, of it happening is Wales good enough to punish England? That's the real question.
No, is the answer to that question. Unless they get a penalty or a corner with that Kiefer Moore, who's a big name. Yeah. But see that, you notice here that he switched Foden to the left? In the first half, Foden was on the right. Foden plays on the left for City. He picks him up on the left. He picks the ball up first time, drives 30-yard run, gets ball down the edge of the area. So why are you playing him on the damn right in the first half?
So we've got Tita, England need to score, without being embarrassed. G saying USA have completely dominated.
Yes! Marcus Rashford. Free kick.
The guy can
Rashford smashed it into the far corner.
He does that at United.
Yeah.
What a goal. What a goal.
Said that.
Good kick. Good free kick.
Really happy for him. Really
good stuff. Good stuff.
And then there's that nonsense free kick in the first half.
Yeah,
that nonsense free kick in the first half. You got a guy that can strike a ball like that. Are you kidding me?
Nonsense. Well done.
Brilliant goal.
That's a great goal. That's a great goal. That's a great goal. It's magnificent from Rashford. It really is.
Brilliant. Well done. I'm happy for him. I'm happy. He's a good kid, Rashford. He kind of lost his way a little bit, didn't he? You know, he had other things going on outside of football. Lost his way a tiny bit. But now he's getting his football back on.
I think it's easy to lose your way at Manchester United right now, how things are. But the guy's got talent. And
100%. What a strike that! Even every time I see it, just looks better and better.
No, Vincey, it's only going to get harder for him at Man United. I mean, the thing is, Edu put a phone call in for him in the summer, didn't he? It was just a phone call, but
the thing is, his trajectory is higher than Saka's. So you've got to understand how much Saka's coming and he's taken his opportunity. You know, Rashford's really fallen off.
But that's because Rashford's more of a number 9 than he is.
Of course it can. Oh, yes. Phil Foden.
Good ball.
Okay. Mistake on the right-hand side by a Welsh player.
Yeah, the dams have broken now, guys. The dams are broken. We've just come off from Rashford bending a beautiful free kick away from Danny Ward into the far corner of the net. And look, England deserved the lead because they've been the better team. And then Foden now puts them ahead. I mean,
yeah, Wales tried to play out from the back. We nicked the ball back. It runs through to Rashford, got a toe in, run through to Kane on the edge of the area, down the line, crossed it far post, and there was Foden to smash it in.
Yeah.
But what a ball from Harry Kane! What a ball that is! What a ball that is!
Super six, so I want the result to remain as it is. Like you,
Yeah.
And just doesn't even
great free kick.
What a ball from Harry Kane. That is inch perfect. The keeper can't come. The defender's nowhere. He don't even know that Foden's there. And to see Bellingham was celebrating before the ball even went in.
Have to score. If he missed that.
Bellingham was celebrating. As soon as he saw Foden running up to it, he was celebrating.
Wow, guys. I mean, this is elation right now. England scoring 2 goals in 60 seconds. 58 seconds to be precise.
Terrible. Go on. Now play it. Switch it.
Send it.
Wow.
Oh, come on, man. See, that's what I mean. See that, Vincent? The switch is on. The switch is on. Whoever that was steaming down the left, the switch was on. And they don't play the damn ball.
I don't like players you drop in midfield and do that foolishness. You know?
Is it me or is Harry Kane trying to dive?
No, he just look whenever he gets touched, he does love a Tom Daly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that annoys me. The switch there was on.
Yeah.
As soon as he broke through from midfield, the switch was on to the left. Whoever that was steaming down the left, the switch was on. We just scored 2 goals in 60 seconds.
Good ball.
Harry Kane gets the assist for that one, guys. T saying Ten Hag has taught Rashford how to press, and then G saying that is piss poor from Ward. Yeah, if you look at the first goal, the free kick, he steps to the right when the ball's being kicked, so he's already off balance. If he
Ward is not a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, if he stands still, then he's got a chance of touching that, but he's exposed. But great for Foden. And guys, have you noticed something?
What's that?
Both of the goal scorers did not play in the did not start in the first 2 games.
No.
Rashford came on a sub, but both of them did not start in the first 2 games. And the fans have been crying out for them.
Like I said in the beginning.
Now Wales are trying to play. Wales are trying to play now. That's a great cross from Ramsey.
Yeah.
I mean, if it stays like this, it's done.
Oh, Pickford, man. Surely you got to be catching that.
Ooh.
Surely you got to be catching that, Pickford. He weren't nowhere near it. He pulled his hands away. Oh, I'm not too sure what Pickford was doing there.
You could actually see that ball wasn't even going to go anywhere near the goal.
Well, it was closer than you think, you know. To pull your hands away, that's having supreme confidence. But it just looked like it went through the middle of his hands.
G saying, if you're Wales right now, don't capitulate. Make sure you don't concede a second and try to get yourself back into the game. Am I the only one cheering on Wales? I think you are.
No, you're not, Greg.
The game's open. Oh gosh.
Close for Wales. Wales nearly got one back there, guys.
Shot from 30 yards.
As a shot, deflects off Harry Maguire, and Pickford managed to reflex save. Good football.
That could have been an own goal as well by Harry Maguire.
Yeah, good football.
Wow.
Harry Maguire, man, honestly. Jump and head it. Jump and let it hit your head. They just skim off your top of your head like that. Jump. Defending these days, like the defenders like the old days, like the Tony Adams, the Keowns, and Gary Mabbotts and all this, they'd take it in the face before they let it go past them. You know, nowadays they want to tuck their arms behind their backs and they want to duck out of headers. It would never happen back in the day.
Yeah, it's strange that, and I think that's got a lot to do with trust. Like now, in the old days, Gary, a manager would have a system and trust you to work in that system with your own responsibility. But now you have to work as a team. Not that you didn't work as a team in the old days, but in the old days you had more of a responsibility with your own play. And that was collectively how it worked. But in this day and age now, it doesn't matter what you do as a singular person. You have to play as a team, in a system, regardless of how good you are. But in the old days, you could get away with that. You could play as an individual. And like Tony Adams always said, we were 4 individuals who all knew our responsibilities and did it 100%. Yeah. So it's kind of a different thing that you say. Everybody knew when to step up.
Oh, he's taking Harry Kane off. Jesus Christ.
Phillips is coming on.
Phillips, Wilson, and Trent.
Yeah.
And off Walker, Rice, and Kane.
He's thinking about the next game now, isn't it?
Rice.
How many substitutes can I make? 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah.
I want Saka to stay on the bench. I don't even want him to come out for this game. To be honest, I thought the game would be more blood and thunder than it is. I thought it would be just like a Premier League game. But Wales are playing like England played against the USA, not really trying to win, but trying to stay in the game.
Yeah.
And just hope that you can nick something. You know, Ben Davies is injured. Good. That's what we like to see. Spud's getting peeled. What a ball this is by Kane. Look at the ground that Foden made up, though. Look, the defender didn't have a clue. That centre-back did not have a clue he was there.
Yeah. Had to score that. If he missed that, OMG. If he missed that, Foden.
I'm just waiting for the newspapers tomorrow to see if Marcus Rashford gets any coverage.
I mean, when you see that free kick again, he didn't even bend it. He just hit it straight. He just hit it straight as a die.
Yeah, Rashford's got some talent, man. Happy for him.
It's nice as well because he's doing things outside of football to benefit people that need help. So if he gets his football going as well, it's good to see because he's actually giving something back, you know, to the community. So it makes it even better.
Cam says the standard of dribbling was higher in the early days, and that helps make defenders look foolish, like when you watch Maradona. I think today we didn't really call players athletes back in the day. Like Maradona was not an athlete, no matter what you want to say about him. He was not an athlete. But I think when you look at someone like Messi and Ronaldo, they are proper athletes. So I think when we're talking about defenders, then that's what we have to talk about. If you take a prototypical Tony Adams and then look at someone like William Saliba, then you pretty much got it right there. You know, when you talk about physicality, Tony Adams was athletically challenged in every way possible. But yet, he's Arsenal's greatest ever defender. So, you know, and then Sol Campbell was a mix between the two, wasn't he? He had the stout and intelligence over Tony Adams, but he had the physicality and the body and the imposing play that William Saliba had. So maybe that's changes through the generations. I can't really say, but I do know being an athlete has got a lot to do with the game today. As far as people always say, would this team in nowadays do better than the team in the old days? It's just two different eras. I mean, right now, these teams in today's football will absolutely run the socks off those teams back in the day. It's just a different game now. And not just physically, but tactically, it's a very different game. If you look at Brazil and Holland, they played a 4-2-4. Yeah? Could you imagine playing a 4-2-4?
Brilliant.
Could you imagine playing a 4-2-4 against Pep Guardiola in today's game?
That's a naughty tackle. Aaron Ramsey, man. Done him proper. Good, it's Jordan Henderson. Take him off.
Yeah, you just wouldn't get away with playing a 4-2-4 in today's football. Tactically, you would just get exposed, no matter how great your team was. You just get exposed, man. It's a different era now.
But mind you, saying that, Apollo, I mean, players like Harry Kane now, what do you think? Do you think they would make it back in the days when you could fly through someone from behind and not even get a yellow card? Remember
Yeah,
some of them rough house challenges that used to go on in football? Where you
yeah,
could
and
send a
that's
player.
where, but because he's not the greatest athlete in the world, I think he would get boss up. I mean, them, Chopper Harris, Terry Butcher, Mick Mills, them guys would roast him for Sunday. They'd have him for Sunday roast, mate.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Martin Keown versus Harry Kane. Are you mad?
that's what I'm saying. What I mean, is there a centre forward nowadays that you would think could even think that would be able to play in them days? I mean, I tried to explain it to my under 18s, and they just don't get it. They just don't understand.
Maybe Giroud. Maybe Olivier Giroud would. Yeah, he's a different kind of animal, Giroud.
Arsenal still miss that guy. I don't care what anyone says. Arsenal still miss that guy.
I looked at his goal scoring. His goal scoring record's incredible, man.
I see the stats today, funny enough,
Yeah,
in his assists and everything like that. I mean, we sold him to get Aubameyang, fair enough, but we've never replaced that guy, and he was great for Arsenal. Yeah, he was brilliant for Arsenal. Yeah, brilliant for Arsenal, brilliant for Chelsea. He was technical. He could battle. The only thing he didn't have was pace.
Yeah.
So here's the joke, Vincey. You sold the French number 1 to buy the French number 3.
Don't get me started. I was never convinced with Lacazette. I know his goals and Arsenal needed to make a statement, but again, I have a standard when it comes to football. And
you sold the French number 1 to buy the French number 3.
Who's the French number? Explain that. Who's the French number 1? What you took? Not goalkeeper, obviously.
No. Giroud was number 1.
Giroud.
He's the top striker in France, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
And Lacazette wonders why he never got into the French team.
Yeah.
But I would have rather sold Lacazette and kept Giroud to play with Aubameyang.
I've said this many times. It's identifying who, as a striker, are you building your team around? And I saw what we were doing with Lacazette. We weren't building the team around him. We had Giroud, and we could build a team around Giroud because his ability allowed him to lay off balls. We were playing that type of tick-attack of football, and it made sense. Us purchasing Lacazette, you can't build a team around him. The same with Aubameyang. I did question, and I said, you know what? If you're going to give him a new contract, you've got to build a team around him. Foolishness. So it's like, yeah.
We had the most expensive strike force in the Premier League, 182 million. Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Pepe, and it never worked. Not even once. We tried to play the 3 of them together 4 times. We played them together. And
Luke Shaw had a good game.
It just didn't work.
He had a good game.
Yeah, because it was
so guys, as it stands now, let's look at the scores on the doors. As it stands now,
he's not going to get
taking Shaw off, bringing Trippier on. This guy.
And this is what I'm saying. You've got other players. You got other players on the squad who's not going to get a game now.
This guy, honestly, man. Ben White's not well, is he?
No, he's not well. So, guys, who will England play in the playoffs? That's not good. All right, let's just try this again, and that's not good as well. Okay, why isn't this working? Okay, that's better. Sorry about that, guys. Right, who will England play in the knockouts? As it stands, it will be England versus Senegal on December the 4th on a Sunday at 7:00. That's as it stands now.
Senegal will beat England.
I'm not too sure about that.
They don't have to.
Depends what England turns up.
We'll put it this way. I have to say, Senegal are probably going to give them a better game than anyone in our group league has given them.
A better physical game.
Yeah.
England, as I say, they're going to have to step up. They can't play like this first half and expect to teams to just sit down just because they're England.
And this is the thing about England; they always get an easy group.
Yeah.
They always get an easy group.
They got Dia, they got Deirdre, they got Deng, Sa, Koulibaly. That's not that's a very good team, guys. It's a very good team. It's just a shame that Mane isn't playing. How long is Mane out for?
Months?
Don't know.
Right, let me just check it up. Injury. Mane. Oh, he's out for 6 weeks. Yeah,
That's not too bad.
he's out for 6 weeks. He's got 10 goals for Bayern Munich already.
German division, innit? Can't read nothing
Liverpool
into that.
missed him.
Yeah,
Liverpool missed him.
Yeah, I think he's been the main difference why Liverpool have been so bad this season, man. He caused a lot of
I
grief
agree,
for
100%.
teams. Salah gets the plaudits, but I
Yeah,
think Mane
100%.
was really the main man there.
Yep, 100%, bro. 100%.
Wales
Nice
are being
touch from
So
Trent there. I do like that.
Mark. Here's Rashford
Go
again.
on, Rashford. Go on.
Cross it,
Yeah, cross it.
and he scores again.
There
Yeah,
you go,
keeper,
guys.
Keeper, you're ahead of me, Ebony. Keeper should have saved that. Keeper should have saved. That's terrible
Keeper's crap.
goalkeeping, man. That's terrible
Yeah,
goalkeeping.
Ward hasn't been good. He hasn't been good, mate. He
That's my
hasn't been
Super
good.
Six gone.
It was his fault for the first goal.
Vinci, that's my Super 6 standard train.
So is he playing his way into a starting 11 in the next round, Marcus?
Yeah.
I think he should start. He's on form.
Yeah, but the thing is, Saka scored 2 goals in that position as well.
Yeah, but
Rashford is now England's leading goal scorer with 3 goals.
I think the problem with England, who in England can take a free kick from outside of the box?
Defense is absolutely
Terrible goalkeeping.
Yeah.
That should never have been a goal. That is shocking. What is
It's like those defenders should be on the line.
Hey, look, guys, look. At least the Welsh fans get a holiday out of it.
He nutmegged the defender and the keeper
You're so wrong,
with one shot.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's no beer and no hot dogs and all that stuff, but at least you get a holiday out of it.
You're wrong.
Did you see a video on YouTube with all these England fans? Well, not just England fans, but fans going, "We want beer, we want beer." It's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I'll be back 1 second, guys.
All right, man.
I told you what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's
Wales are
horrible
poor.
goalkeeping. That's terrible.
I don't think I've ever seen a defender and a goalkeeper both get nutmegged with the same shot.
Yeah, that's just awful. And the goalkeeper's just been atrocious. I mean, he gets a 2 out of 10 today.
He doesn't get. He gets a 0. I'm sorry.
He's just not been at the races today.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's a
I
big
mean,
reason
look-
that Leicester haven't been doing as well because he's Leicester goalkeeper, really, that Danny Ward.
I mean, you guys know how I feel about all of that. Yes, you should relax a little bit of rules, but at the end of the day, your laws are your laws. And if people don't like them, then don't go.
Exactly.
I mean, Qatar is not a place that I would go to because I choose not to. And that's my personal choice. And that's me respecting their laws. I respect their laws, and that's the reason why I wouldn't go. And there's nothing wrong with that. You've all got a choice. No one's holding a gun to your head and saying you've got to do this.
This is what I was saying. Like the West, they love to tell people what to do, and it's like this country, for example, it needs to look at its own skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, the West like to tell people that they can't do this and they should be doing this and you should treat this person better and so on and so forth. But
we can't treat our own people. We can't treat our own people with respect.
Exactly. I mean, listen, the only thing where I was kind of like the World Cup shouldn't be in Qatar was because of the LGBT community thing. A lot of fans felt they couldn't go because would they be safe? And I don't think from that point of view, I mean, the drinking of beer and this, that and the other is irrelevant, really. But every fan should be allowed to go and watch their country play football, whether they're gay, white, black, green, yellow. It doesn't make no difference.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I had. Apart from that, I wasn't really worried about anything else.
because it is a bit of a contradiction because
Play him,
you
play him.
Good save.
Patrick.
Loki.
Oh,
he's close. It is a bit of a contradiction because you can't say we won't allow this, we won't allow that, and respect our laws, and then say we want the whole world to come to our country. It's because you're going to face. Look, this is the Me Too era. This is the cancel culture era. The world today is not the same as it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. So to say that if you're going to embrace other nations, you have to do a better job at releasing your laws, at relaxing your laws. That being said, everybody respects your laws, and that's the reason why a lot of people won't come to your country. So it is a bit of a contradictory to say we want everyone to come to our country, and yet we don't have the laws to facilitate them. And somewhere they have to find a medium somewhere in the middle, and I don't think they've really found that yet. But at the same time,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying that, I mean, they have their laws, and as you said, if people don't like those laws, don't go.
Yeah, don't go.
But if you are going to go, then respect the fact that there are things that you cannot do, and they don't drink alcohol. It's a Muslim country. They don't drink alcohol. I don't think they eat. I think it's beef or something like that.
Pork. But it goes deeper than that though, because I just said this isn't 1970 or 1980. Countries can't lock themselves away and say we're doing our own thing, because we've gone through Brexit, we've gone through what's happened in America with Trump, we've gone through, the world is smaller now, so everybody's more open to other cultures. That we're not strangers to anybody anymore, and so there's a level of, if you look at China 50 years ago to China now, they are way more relaxed in their rules, because they're trying to sort of come out of being. The same can be said of Iran. However, because it's the World Cup, people are using that to make political standpoints. I mean, the Iranian fans right now are ripping the country to shreds because of the travesty that's going on in Iran with all the women, the young women that is being killed. They're like, how can people be praising and supporting Iran as the football team when their own country are killing their own people every single day? And that's the reason why you're getting this thing where they're protesting every day in Qatar. And it might not be right, but that's the world we live in. Like I said, it's Me Too, it's cancel culture, it's Black Lives Matter. Nothing is going to be unheard. Everyone has a voice now.
Do you guys see the Chinese coverage of the World Cup on the news? They've actually blurred out the crowd.
Yeah.
So nobody knows that nobody's wearing face masks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Vincent, you was going to say something.
Yeah, but I mean, I know the world is small, but this all stems to what FIFA is about for me, because the World Cup shouldn't be in Qatar. It just shouldn't be. There's so many levels of. I understand what the world game is supposed to be, but it shouldn't be there. I heard you mention.
Well played, Marcus Rashford.
I heard you mentioned about the drink side of things, but the advertising Budweiser on the side of the thing, because it's associated with the World Cup. So it's the whole where we are in the world. There's the level of mockery in dealing with these things. It's ridiculous, because
hypocrisy really.
It's high. The things that's happening in certain countries. Well, back in the day, they used to be banned from. Those countries will be banned, say, for the Olympics. They'll be banned for going to the Olympics. They're not prepared to do that, but they're still prepared to have the tournament in the country. So it's like,
it's about money, though, isn't it?
It's about money. Yeah, that part's the money part. So yeah, you're right. It's FIFA. It's FIFA.
Yeah,
it's FIFA. We all know FIFA's corrupt as hell.
So they're corrupt.
Yeah, FIFA have been corrupt for years. Handouts and who dodgy deals about who gets which tournament. It's I need to watch that Netflix documentary about FIFA.
I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, okay, So we've had a World Cup in Asia. We've had a World Cup in Africa. We've had a World Cup in the Middle East. I'm saying to myself, where's the World Cup going to go in the Caribbean?
In it. But then, do the countries of the Caribbean have enough money to fund it?
So see, that's the question, because that's a twofold answer. The government doesn't. The government doesn't.
Oh,
but
Bellingham could have scored. Bellingham. Oh,
but then Ebony, the sponsors would put up most of the money,
The funds,
and it wouldn't necessarily be in one country. It would have to be in
Several.
You'd have
What's
to
the-
it
what's
would
the
have to be
stadium like in
Jamaica,
the Caribbean,
Trinidad and
like?
Tobago, Barbados. You'd have to pick and choose. Dominican Republic. You'd have to pick and choose which countries. But then the majority of the money would come from the sponsors.
Or even
What's the stadiums like in the Caribbean? Though? Would they have to build new stadiums?
Yeah, they'd have to build.
Yeah, they would do. Yeah, or just
or
maybe
even link it with
couple.
or even link it with the South American, the Northern South American countries where you can actually mix it, so you can travel to and fro. You know, if they're going to do something like what they've done in Qatar, I'm saying to myself, so when is it going to happen in the Caribbean?
Well, because if you look at South Africa spent $6 billion on preparing for the World Cup. $6 billion. That's how much they spent, and that was all sponsorship money. That would happen. That would translate to the West Indies.
Yeah.
$6 billion. If you look at what Qatar spent, $213 billion. That's nearly $250 billion just to hold the World Cup.
And some of those stadiums aren't going to be used again.
Yeah, essentially.
A bit like the stadium.
Right. It's calculator time, everybody. Hold on a second.
a bit like when we had the Olympics, or when Barcelona had the Olympics, and that stadium wasn't used again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Emir of Qatar probably found that 213 billion down the back of his sofa.
So guys, Qatar have spent 35 times more than South Africa. No, forget that. Qatar in this World Cup have spent more money than the last 9 World Cups put together.
Wow.
Sick, innit?
Wow.
Mad. Mad.
That's where we are, guys.
But what do Qatar actually get out of it? What are they actually getting out of it? Because are people going to go and visit their country? No.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people to come and visit the country, to open the country up. I mean, their population is what, 300,000? They don't even have 500,000 people living in Qatar.
Well, the LGBT community can't go. Drinkers can't go. Drug takers can't go. So you killed 3 lots of people there, didn't you?
Well, all those.
No, sorry, it's not 300. It's their population is just less than 3 million. So Qatar has the same population as Jamaica.
That's a small amount.
Same population.
All those groups of people can go. It's just that they have to not do what they would do in public as they would do here.
Is this one of the countries where you can't go if you're not married? You can't go, you can't be kissing a girl if you're not married to her. Is that in Dubai? Is it not? Was that Dubai?
That's Dubai, but normally Nabil would be the person to answer that question. I don't try to. Yeah, Nabil would be the one that would answer that question.
I've been to Dubai. I've been to Dubai, and on their trains, it's like women are one side of a line and men are on the other side. And on the buses, like the women sit at the front, and there's a line behind those seats, and the men. Yeah.
Yeah, my mate got arrested for drinking water over there.
What, in Dubai?
Yeah. I have no wish during Ramadan. Yeah, wow. I have no wish. I hope you enjoyed yourself, but that you won't be seeing me there, girl.
No, not me. Not that I drink or do anything like that. I just got no interest.
It's basically a desert, and it's built upon. There's
plenty of other places that I want to go. I want to go Japan. I want to go Tokyo. My daughter's been, but and I want to go Taiwan as well. Plenty of other places that I want to go visit. I want to go Cuba. Cuba's relaxed their stuff as well. Cuba and Havana, yeah, it's lovely. I want to go Montenegro. I've got a lot of places. Yeah, me and my wife need to retire soon because I'll be traveling.
One of the mechanics from work, he goes all over the place. He goes to Iraq. He goes everywhere. All these dodgy countries that I wouldn't dream of going. He loves it. Iran. He goes everywhere. 5 weeks. 5 weeks in starting in Iraq. I think he's gone on holiday.
Yeah.
He just travels all over on his own as well. Just on his own. Just off he goes to all these countries that I wouldn't even dream of setting foot in.
Mad. So, guys, it's 10 minutes left, which is nothing in this World Cup because being in the 80th minute means you could have 20 minutes left to play. So whatever happened, somebody didn't give them the rule book. They think matches 100 minutes and 50 minutes a half. Nobody told them how long.
I actually think it's a good thing because, players go through the games and they actually think that they're wasting time. But actually, you know what? It's been noted. So I think, you know what? It's now showing that, 10 minutes of football is being wasted easily in games and you're missing out. So I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a terrible thing. One, because it gives too much of a chance for the teams that are losing to get back into the game. And then two, it takes more of a physical nature out of it because, today's game is 33, 34 degrees. It's hot out there. Yeah. And to ask these players to play an extra 8-9 minutes in that kind of heat, it's really taxing. But I do get it with the 5 substitutes. I do get the 5 substitutes thing. But it's crazy, man. I've seen 4 games that are over 10 minutes.
So have I.
I haven't seen one game in the last 10 years over 10 minutes. And I've seen 4 already this month.
Have you seen goals scored in that 10 minutes, though?
Yeah, it's been
quite a few of them, yeah. Quite a few of them, yeah.
And that's, that's a good thing.
Yeah, because when you look at Vincey, when you looked at the game last night, it was South Korea versus Ghana. Was it South Korea? Hold on, I'm going to have to look this up again now. South Korea. Who was South Korea playing? Was it Ghana?
Ghana, yeah.
Ghana went up 2-0. South Korea scored 2 goals in like 3 minutes. And then Ghana scored again in the 68th minute. And then in squeaky bum time, I think it was 11 minutes. And it was just like, you're giving Korea 11 minutes to get back into... And all it was for those 11 minutes was them crossing balls into the Ghana box trying to get an equalizer. That was the whole 11 minutes. And it was just like, I've never felt so stressed, in my life, just watching it thinking, how on earth, if this was Arsenal, I would be absolutely blowing the roof.
So would I. I've been blowing the roof.
Tense.
I've been annoyed at this World Cup at the length of time, extra time that these officials have given. It's like 10 minutes. And it's only and if you accumulate the amount of time that people have stopped, to assess injuries and blah blah blah, it's been 6 minutes.
G says McKinney, looks like he's aggregated a thigh injury. Oh wow, like he's been your best player of the tournament, bro. Who is this? This is Mike T. Mark T. Mark C says another one who got away. There's a lot of players who got away. That's why you lot are talking about Musa.
Oh.
Hayland boy as well, man.
The thing is with
Hayland boy
America,
as well.
with the States and Iran, it's political.
Yeah, listen, Nay, the Ghana game, I was grabbing on I was grabbing onto the edge of the settee, man, because I was like, these guys. When I saw the 11 minutes lift up, I was like, these guys are just on like nowhere in the world would you see football being played like that. Hey, Mr. Gary, I need to see that handbook that FIFA handed over to the officials. I want to see the hand guidelines book. I want to see what that shit says in there.
I think they just told them to make up the rules as they go along. We'll pay you. They probably want the TV. The TV's on longer, innit? We'll give you an extra 10 billion
Oh.
for every minute that's over 90.
There's an article on
What was that?
yeah, God, what's that American site? I keep forgetting the name of that American site. What's
Go
that
home, Keith, and more your rubbish, mate.
There's I think it's USA Today. USA Today did an article. They timed one of the matches, and the injury time was 2 minutes.
Why don't you square it to your?
And they played 9 minutes of injury time, so we know it's bullshit.
That's what it is. It's just more coverage for Qatar, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all it is. Get a few more adverts in around the stadium.
Sponsors though, haven't they? They lost Budweiser, didn't they?
Ooh.
I'm not too sure, Ebony, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Some of them pulled out because of because of the laws and stuff. But
see,
like I said, man, I mean, don't complain about it. People have a choice. No
the whole
one's
thing
holding
about
a gun to your head, man.
the whole thing about the Budweiser, right? If they would have, when it was awarded, if they would have said, "Look, we're a Muslim country, our laws don't allow
They're
drink,
not conducive to the Western laws.
they don't allow, gays in public or whatever you want to call it," then Budweiser should have said, "Well, okay, if that's the case, we're out from the start." Don't wait till the eve of the kickoff and then they say, "Right, we're not allowing beer in the stadiums." So Budweiser then pull out. Pull out from the start if you know that people are not going to be able to drink there. Why are you in it? Just so you get a bit more advertising from FIFA.
But then also, FIFA should have actually asked them about or done some research.
But that's what I'm saying. It should have all been sorted out from the moment they got the World Cup given to them. FIFA should have said, right, is this allowed? Is this allowed? Is this allowed? Yeah. And the Qataris should have said yes, 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 no, 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 whatever the case may be. Can't just leave it till 2 days before the tournament and then you say, right, that's it. We're not allowing this. It should have all been done and dusted once it was awarded to them, once they fraudulently got it.
If it was up to me, it would have been it would have been a Caribbean. Just like the one in 2 years' time, it's going to be North America, practically. I'd have offered it to the Caribbean.
Other games heating up. G says Rashford at Arsenal would be just as bad as Sterling at Arsenal from a press point of view. Poor lad suffered enough as it is. Can't defend. Neither can Sterling.
I don't know. Rashford's pressed quite well in this game. Even Vinci said he looked like he's learned something from Ten Hag.
I agree. Cam says, "Hey G, the US will regret not getting a second if Iran scores. They're going home." Huh?
Yeah, they are.
I didn't have a look at that.
Because remember they beat Wales?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I don't know how many times America actually. Where's my remote?
Yeah, I'm just going into the game coverage now. Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
Was it still 1-0, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's still 1-0, yeah. Yeah, you're right. No wonder G's been quiet in there, Squeaky bum time for you, my friend.
They're just not taking their chances.
G's squeaky bum time for you, my friend. Oh,
what really hurts as well? The fact that they've put them on at the same time. It's annoying.
They've got to do that for so you don't have an advantage.
True, actually.
Did you see that defended? Comical.
Let's have a look.
I'll tell you what, guys. Look, I've said it once. I've said it twice, and I'll say it again. Wales have been this is not a good. When you consider how good Wales was in the Euros, they have not been good.
There's a ball played through. Wilson's chasing it. 2 Wales defenders converge on him. They kind of just went past each other, and both of them left the ball. And Wilson just ran straight past them. It was stupidness. I've never seen defending like that at international level.
I'm watching the USA game.
Right, free kick by Foden.
Fair play to Iran. They've actually played good football.
Oh, what a save.
Stones tries again, and it just gets clipped over the bar by the...
How have you not scored there?
Actually, did the goalie get... No.
No.
Goal kick.
Cam is saying Vincent eating cuckoo and frying fish, cuckoo and flying fish, Bayesian cuisine.
Flying fish and cuckoo. Nice, man. Nice.
Vinci, have you seen that YouTube clip where the Bayesian woman is making some food and nobody can understand a single word she's saying?
Nah, send it.
You're gonna have to send me that.
Send it in the podcast. I want to see that.
I'll find it and I'll put it in the group.
Ebony, how dare you say that on the stream without backing it up with any evidence? You need to send that shit on the stream.
I mean, I can understand what she's saying, but most people are like, all I can understand is blah, 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 noise, blah, 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 noise.
Noise. You know, noise.
And you know what? I ain't seen it, but I could just imagine it.
She's just making up. I don't know what food she's just like making up some cook up.
I'd love to play it to someone like Gary, because and Gary must have some Bayesian friends. It's whether he can understand them talking is another thing.
What's your background, Gary?
My dad was from Trinidad, and my mum is English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so he definitely would understand Bayesian then.
You'll understand that.
Yeah. Oh, Nay's saying only 4 minutes extra time. Okay. Maybe they must have an English. They must have an English referee.
I think they just want to spare Wales blushes. Wales just want to get on the plane as quick as possible.
9 minutes for the USA game.
No way.
No, Lord. See what I mean, Gary? See what I mean? Look, Iran need a goal to get in. So what do? Let's give them 9-10 minutes. Job done.
What are you trying to do? Oh my God. 50 players around the ball. Oh Jesus!
You know what it is? They're trying to walk this ball into the net, and it's like
that looked like my under-11s. Everyone in the middle of the pitch,
following sheep.
That's it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, following sheep.
Trent has changed his hairstyle.
Oh, good cross. USA hanging on, man.
You know what they need to introduce? Because it's so hot out there? Water breaks.
It's a foul, Ben. That's a blatant foul. I'm watching USA Iran now.
Yeah.
All right, well, England, the game's over.
I don't know how the ref didn't give that.
It's a blatant foul. It's a blatant foul, that is, isn't it? He tripped him over and you see it clearly. I got sent off the other day as the manager. I got sent off.
Did you see the South Korean manager
what
tell
happened?
the referee he called them an effing bum, and then the referee just stood up there and took out a red card. This is right after the game. It was only yesterday. You would have seen it.
That's not too dissimilar from me last Sunday.
Conky, man. Can't talking about conky, boy.
What's conky?
I don't know.
It's
Asian food.
You have like cornmeal with raisin. You boil it.
Oh,
it's nice, man. Wrap that thing in some. What was it? Banana leaf.
Okay.
Boil
So hold on. I've had pea soup, cow foot soup, and pigtail soup. But what is split pea? What is split pea rice? What is that? Oh, is that gunga peas? Is that what you lot call split peas?
You know what gunga peas are?
Okay. Yeah. But I don't know what split peas is. Is that gunga peas?
Split peas is the little orange thing, isn't it?
No,
you got the orange.
Yeah, it is. He just said, it's gunga peas. I didn't know that's what you lot call it there in Barbados.
Split peas, man.
Yes, gunga peas.
And sauce pudding, I don't know what that is, bro. I don't know what sauce pudding is.
I love my gunga peas.
Vincey, I got no idea what. Vincey, I don't know what none of that stuff.
Dinner of Vincey's is going to be fun, isn't it?
God. I don't know what that stuff is. Man said conky. Holy crap.
Apollo, that laughter sounded. Have you seen them things on Facebook? Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
That laughter sounded like that.
Oh God. It's, you know what? I love West Indian food, man, but I went to St. Kitts and Antigua, and I'm used to Jamaican food though, but they just give me some things that I never even heard of. So when my man is talking to Vincey about that Bayesian food, I never heard of it, bro.
I'm gonna put it in the in the chat, man. Conky nice, man.
Whoa. Right, guys, I guess we better do player ratings then. Let me just have a look here. So as I said, guys, I confirmed it's full time. I better put the banner up and change it. That the England would play Senegal. Let's say full
Sunday, the
time.
4th of December. Innit?
Yeah, 4th of December, Sunday, 7 o'clock. Look, guys, that it wasn't the performance that anybody would expect, especially in the first half. But in the second half, it was pretty impressive by England. And the biggest issue for me, I've had a problem with Southgate because I just think he's tactically inept. Yeah. And he showed me nothing in last year and this year. He's shown me nothing to change that. However, that being said, particularly his half-time adjustment really worked. His substitutions, he brought some big guns on. But to bring in Foden and Rashford, that paid off for him big time. Both were outstanding in this game and really changed the dimension of the team. So, look, guys, England top the group. They will play Senegal.
Oh, come on,
Wales go home as one of my most disappointing teams in the competition. So Vincey, guys, has put the Conky recipe on the 101 forum. So I'm going to dive into that and have a look at it later. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, starting with Ebony, and I'll do the player rating.
I thought England were very laboured in the first half. They had quite a few chances. What was it? 9 shots on goal, 2 on target or something like that. I thought the pass move was good, but chances-wise, they couldn't break down the Welsh defence. Second half, England basically trashed Wales. Wales offered nothing. In actual fact, Wales offered absolutely nothing throughout the game. There were big players, in my opinion, Bale and Ramsey, non-existent as far as I'm concerned. I thought defensively they were poor. I thought the goalkeeper was poor. And, for me, Wales spent most of their time in their half, because they just couldn't get past the England midfield. I think there was just maybe 2 occasions throughout the whole game where they actually got into England's half. Well, no, actually maybe 4 occasions where they got into England's half. But their shooting is awful, absolutely dreadful. And if I'm going to rate the Welsh team, none of them get past the 5.
Yeah, it's a real shame that, look, I just don't think they had the players to. Sometimes when you have tactics, and we know this from Arteta's first few years at Arsenal, sometimes when you have tactics and you want to play a certain way, and this way we're now talking about the counter-attacking way, and you don't have the players to do that, it can look really ugly. And I think that was the biggest issue that they had today.
And I don't understand why, because I'm not an England fan, but I don't understand why.
He's pulled it down. As a pen.
Talk to me.
Cross has come in the box for Iran. He's flicked on. Their striker's just about to head it into the net. It looks like he gets pulled back, ends up flat on his back. They're screaming for VAR. And the ball is clear. Hold on. It's showing it again now. There's the flick. He's onside. Surely he hasn't just not headed that.
Is this on ITV? Is this on ITV?
No.
BBC 2.
BBC Two.
All right, let me go back.
Hand on the shoulder. I want to see the contact before. They haven't shown it from behind.
Right, I'm watching it now. I'm watching it.
He's just about to head it into the net, and all of a sudden he falls flat on his back. Here it is. No, not a penalty. The hand was on him, but not enough. Not enough to make him drop like that.
Yeah.
And you know what? The guy's an idiot because all he had to do was stand up, be strong, and head the ball in. And his country are through to the next round of the World Cup. He's tried to get a penalty, and it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah.
Never a penalty. What a fool. Damn cheat. Got what you deserved.
And the game's over anyway.
What an absolute idiot.
The game's over. Come on, America.
Man, I feel nice, man.
Absolute idiot.
Vincey, your thoughts about the game, and then we can go into player ratings after we hear from Gary.
I was just saying that,
sorry.
Yeah, very quickly. For me, yes, Wales are a poor side, but, if he's going to be serious, he has to play his best team on every occasion. I don't care if it's Wales, Iran, US. And, he should have actually had Foden and Rashford on from the beginning.
Yeah, Vincey, your thoughts about the game?
I think England got away with one. Credit to Southgate for starting Foden and Rashford. I think both of them were England's best players on the day. Rashford was just outstanding with his dribbling, and this is what England needed to do. Foden reminds us of his huge talent. Good goals, second half. This is something where he's got to build and, he's got to sort that midfield out. I said it in the first 10 minutes. England you can't just sit there and just play 45 minutes of football against the best teams. They'll slaughter you. They'll cut you open. So he's going to have confidence with making bold decisions. And if he has to change the formation, change the formation. Kane is not a threat to any defence. Dropping so far down with him scoring. However, he is providing assists. So give him credit where credit is due. He is contributing that in that regards. And tough watch. Wales look poor. They look like a team that were desperate in qualifying. And it's a shame for the end of Ramsey and Bale's international career if it is for them to go out the way they went out. So there was a discussion prior to the game as to who was one of the best British players, and I think probably in my lifetime, I've got to say Gareth Bale, for what he did at Spurs, what he did at Real Madrid, what he's done for Wales, I think he's been awesome. And it's just a sad way for him to end the career. He's going to go down in history as probably the greatest Welshman. And fair play to him. He deserves it.
It just goes to show you. Sorry to cut you. It just goes to show you how LeBron James is 38. Cristiano Ronaldo's 38. It just goes to show you these guys are 5 years older than Gareth Bale. And what makes a superstar and a Hall of Famer and a GOAT, greatest of all time, is just how you look after your body and just how you eat right, you train right, you do all these different things. And you look at Gareth Bale at 33 years old now, and he just looks a shadow of himself. He
had nothing to give.
Yeah, he had nothing to give. And then you look at a Cristiano Ronaldo when he was 33, and he was just ripping it up, and a Messi. And as I said, that LeBron James is still going out there getting 28 points a night, and not enough credit goes to those players, because had he looked after himself better, he would still be in tip-top shape. But that's just how the world works, guys.
But
Gary,
but you question.
Sorry, go on, Vincey.
Sorry, Gary, but you question Bale when you think about that. He played alongside Ronaldo, and a time and they were both successful at Real Madrid. So you have a role model, a professional there who's showing you the ropes. It's a shame for Wales because they won't have the best of probably their best player that I've seen for a long time.
And in that regard, and I'm talking about sportsmanship now, you have to be man enough to say, I want to be you. I want to be as good as you. I want to be better than you. And I don't know how many young players do that. I don't know if Bale ever did that. If Bale walked up to Cristiano Ronaldo and said, mate, you're amazing. You're my mentor. Like, I want to be the best player in the world. Tell me what I need to do to be. I don't think he said that. I know Kobe Bryant said that to Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan
said, I had playing football.
Yeah.
I have to be morphed into so many different players in different positions to excel. And as it's a shame for Wales because I think they're gonna struggle now.
Yeah, as I said, I know Kobe Bryant said that to Michael Jordan, and Jordan said to him, the only way you're going to be great is if you look after your body. And Kobe says, how do I do that? And he said, here's my trainer's number, but don't call him until I retire. But it's a true story. And when Jordan retired, Kobe called him, and he looked after him, his body, he looked after his dietitian, and Kobe became who he was. But that was because he looked after his body. The same guy who got Jordan into shape did that with Kobe. It's a true story. So it just goes to show you guys, it's one of those things that Bale is 33 years old and really, really, really should be still playing.
Should be in the prime.
Yeah. Gary, what's your thoughts on the game?
Maybe when he's 37.
Yeah, my thoughts on the game, basically, did very disappointed with the first half. England really played like they had no interest in winning. Apart from the one chance that Rashford had, we didn't create anything. I'm not sure that Southgate is the guy that's going to take England where they want to go. I think he's far too pragmatic, far too negative. Vincey called it out a couple of times. The midfield just doesn't seem to work. Henderson, I don't even know what he's doing on the pitch. And I think he was really poor. Second half, he swapped it around. Foden and Rashford changed wings. Straight away, you could see the difference in Foden when he was on his left foot, more comfortable. Rashford was started running in behind. We started pressing as a group and causing Wales trouble, and we got the deserved win. As for Wales, I wasn't expecting much from them this time round in the tournament. I think a couple of years ago, Bale was still somewhat fit, and he's obviously their main man. Ramsey's suffered with injuries, hasn't really played a lot. And I think when you look at it, when Ramsey became available from Juventus, he ended up at Rangers. I think that tells you everything you need to know about where his career is going. Yeah. Bale obviously left Real Madrid and ended up in America in the MLS. So again, that tells you, is he on the wane? And just listening to your points about Ronaldo and LeBron and so on and so forth, I think it also has a lot to do with injuries that may have been suffered throughout the careers. So different injuries will take different tolls. So I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think that Ronaldo has had any long periods out of football through injury. Maybe he's looking after his body, but sometimes it may not just be that. It may be a case of, some muscles are not up to what somebody else's may be, if you understand.
Yeah, 61% of injuries occur from the player not being as physically fit as he should be. So if you look after your body, you train well, you eat the right food, and you have the great nutrition, your body will deal with, if you look at the amount of guys who have pulled groins, hamstrings, any groins, calf issues, that's because of a lack of fitness. It's not because you've overdone it or anything. It's just you've not trained your body to the point where you don't. This is the reason why we talk about Thomas Partey all the time, and now Partey's got a new fitness trainer, personal trainer, sorry, and it's just because they're trying to look after that upper thigh limit. If you don't get that area right, if you don't strengthen the muscles around it, if you don't give it the right type of treatment, physio and everything, then you're going to continually have that. If you talk to Jack Wilshere, he's been on TalkSport many times. What's the first thing he says? He says, my body wasn't as strong or well as fit as I needed it to be to deal with the amount of ankle injuries I had. So and they reckon 61% of those injuries are down to you just not being. And when you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, he's got himself to the point where what would injure somebody else won't affect him.
Injury. Okay.
Yeah, because his body is just so. The guy is just the guy's just textbook physicality for a football player. He's incredible. But
you can see that.
That leaves us onto the player ratings, guys. So let's talk about this. And before I want to give you the ratings, I want to say that let's remember that Southgate has been in charge of this team for 6 years. Next year would be yeah. So let's kick off by talking about the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, a pick. You just have to look at the stats to see he was largely untroubled, apart from the reaction save he made from Kefir Moore's deflection. Apart from that, he didn't really have much to do. I thought Kyle Walker, who hasn't started, it's been Luke Shaw that's been the preferred player. Kyle Walker looked sharp, and he in terms of his fitness, I think he got up and down that flank a lot more than Luke Shaw we've seen Luke Shaw did. So for me, guys, we have an option to switch to a potential back three against Senegal or against France in the quarterfinals. With him in there, I think the potential is you can play a back three. And that's something that we've seen Japan, when they put Tomiyasu on in a back three, it changed the game against Germany and they ended up beating Germany. I think he'll give England a different dimension. John Stones, I'm going to give a 6. I thought he was composed. And look, the defenders didn't really have much work to do. Maguire, I'm going to give him a 7. His distribution was better than Stones. He sprayed the ball well, played some good diagonal passes. I just wish that Wales pressed the back line more. Shaw as well, putting a couple of dangerous crosses. I'm going to give him a 6. Henderson, I'm going to give a 6. He wasn't really needed for this kind of game, if I'm honest. This wasn't a game he needed to play in. Declan Rice, I'm going to give him a 6 as well. I thought he was okay. He wasn't great. Bellingham, I thought Bellingham was the better out of the 3. I'm going to give him a 7. Good in performance. He didn't play well in the last game. I was the first person to say that. But I thought Bellingham played well better. He was physically imposing. For such a young player, he's got a really great way of using his body and just the way how he turns as well and gets them clever touches in. If I was him, I would take videos of Thomas Partey and watch how he transitional plays, and I would mirror my sort of play on what Partey does for Arsenal, because if Bellingham can do that, if he can develop his transitional play and learn how to use his body and his positioning on those angles as a 19-year-old, he can be a heck of a player if he learns how to do that. Phil Foden gets an 8. Just a fantastic display from him. He won the free kick, guys, that Rashford scored with. Let's not forget that. It was him that won the free kick. And obviously finishing off Kane's cross. Look, he's undroppable now. You can't tell me. We had this frustration. We sat here for 2 streams and we were like, what on earth has Mason Mount? What is Mason Mount better than Phil Foden at? Name me one thing.
Nothing. Having a bigger nose.
Exactly. And here we are. He's just played Phil Foden, and Foden's just had a brilliant game. So long may it continue. I thought Kane did well. I thought he's yet to score in open play, but he got another assist with that superb pinpoint cross for Foden. He also set up an early chance for Marcus Rashford with a smart through ball, which was saved by Ward. I thought he played well, so I'm going to give him a 7. Rashford was elite. Superb free kick, great run and finish for the chance I just talked about with Harry Kane when he ran through. He's making runs behind the line, which I haven't seen Sterling do. Saka's doing it, but Sterling's not been doing it, and it just gives you a different dimension. Want to know what they're going to do now, because they've got potentially 3 players who can play through on the flanks. They've got Rashford, Saka, and Foden, and so they're going to have to work out some kind of rotation between the 3 players, because obviously Kane needs the support. But I really like what he was doing today. He's my man of the match, Rashford. Southgate got it right. Changed the team sheet, and he made the halftime adjustments, and it doesn't happen every game, guys. It's a rarity for him to do this, but I thought he did well, and he deserves his kudos tonight. Ebony?
Pickford, as you said, didn't really have much to do. Just a standard 6, I guess. Walker, I thought he played well. He should have been on in the first game.
He was injured.
Okay. Well, I'd give him a 7. Stones, yeah. I mean, Stones, he tried. I thought they
didn't have a lot to do in all.
He didn't have a lot to do, no. But then again, he did try and score, and he was close on at least 2 occasions. So I'll give him a 7. Maguire, pains me to say this, but he was the best defender, to be honest. And I give him a 7. Shaw, for me, doesn't offer a great deal. I give him a 5. Henderson, not quite sure what he did, to be quite honest. Wasn't even in the game for me. I give him a 5. Rice, again, not quite sure what he did. I give him a 5. Bellingham, I love his pace. I love the fact that he can run at defenders. I give him a 7. Foden and Rashford, I give a 9. They made the difference, especially down those flanks. They made the absolute difference, and this is why Gareth Southgate needs to start using them from the next game onwards. So I give them both a 9. Southgate, I'm going to give him a 5. I thought his tactics were crap in the first half. I'm not quite sure what he got them doing, to be honest. So he's getting a 5.
Vincey, you got the conch.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I will change with your ratings there is I'll give Shaw a 7. I thought both fullbacks played very well and added stability on the halfway line. They weren't really in any trouble, and they for me they helped and give the stability needed for Rashford and Foden to have the impact that they did. So yeah, I outside of that, I can't disagree with any other of your ratings. So yeah.
Okay, Gary, you got the conch.
The conch is nice.
Do you know what that means, by the way? It's something I use on my streams. Quite a few people. Have you ever read a book called Lord of the Flies?
No, I wasn't the conch. The thing that Vinci was eating. What was Vinci eating?
No, it's a shell. It's one of the greatest stories.
When you got it, you can talk. That's the thing, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. I thought it was the thing that Vinci was eating. What was you eating, Vinci?
No, I was just eating some chicken, some rice, some.
I've lost the plot.
But no, it's because I sometimes talk Bayesian.
Okay.
My Bayesian family in the chat were just talking about some Bayesian cuisine that I love. So yeah, nice.
Okay, back to the ratings. Let's save the show. Right. Pickford. I think where we see Ramsdale on a weekly basis, we see him starting attacks with some great distribution, and I think Pickford lacks that. And I think it's an area that Southgate could probably look at going forward in the competition the keeper's distribution. I just don't think Pickford brings that. But
Do you think he
lot.
should have started? Do you think he should have started Ramsdale today? There's a lot of people that said he should have.
There could have been a call for it. I mean, I just like Ramsdale's distribution. He knocks them long balls for fun, and Pickford just doesn't have that. You know, but I say Pickford didn't really have a lot to do. He did kind of flap at one cross shot. He must have been very, because it was a lot closer than he probably thought. So I'm going to give Pickford a 5. Didn't really have a lot to do, as neither did any of the defenders. Probably Walker, I would give a 7. The centre backs 6 each, and Luke Shaw a 5. Into midfield, Rice and Henderson together, I just don't get. I'm not sure why you needed both of them. Neither really did anything during the game. You know, there was a couple of little runs from Rice. You know, they didn't have any tackles to make. Hardly any tackles to make. You know, it didn't really make sense. So I'll give them a 6 each. Bellingham, I agree, he was the best of the 3. So I'll give him. Did make a couple of good little runs, so I'm going to give him a 7. Foden, really like to watch Phil Foden. I think he's an exciting player, and he went on a couple of real driving runs where he's taken on 3s, 4s players, and so on and so forth. You know, scored a goal, and it was noticeable that when he changed to the left-hand side, he was much more comfortable than playing on the right in the first half. So Foden will get an 8. Marcus Rashford, I thought, was absolutely fantastic. Spinning and running in behind. He had the chance in the first half. He really should have had a hat-trick today. He should have had a hat-trick.
So. Yeah.
You know, Rashford will get a 9, and my man of the match. And Harry Kane will get a 7. Good link-up play. Almost put Rashford through in the first half, but Rashford missed the chance. And then pops up with an excellent cross ball for Foden to slot in number 2. So that was all important. I just want to see Harry Kane getting in them positions more, not dropping so deep towards the halfway line. I think he's wasted dropping that, especially if there's nobody running through.
Yeah.
On the whole, Southgate, I just don't think he's the guy that's going to land England a trophy, because I think when we come up against the better teams, I think his negativity is going to work against him. And against the likes of France and Brazil, you can't let these guys come at you, because they're going to score goals. And you don't want to be facing a goal down or 2 goals down against these teams and trying to come back into the game in the first 45 minutes. I think today it was almost like they were scared to play. And then in the second half, he's like someone said, what we worried about this lot for? Let's go out there and do something. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
But from the first half, I mean, they should have been watching the Wales games against Iran and the USA, and they should have known that there was nothing there to be scared of. Bale's finished, you know, Ramsey's finished, and they got nothing else. They was only ever going to score today from a free kick outside the area from Bale, or penalty, or maybe a free kick, corner, like set piece routine. Apart from that, there was never going to offer anything that England had to be worried about. Going forward, obviously now there's a big selection headache with Foden, Rashford and Saka behind Kane. Now, I personally am not a Mason Mount fan. I think Foden could slot into that 10 role, leaving Rashford and Saka either side. And I think Foden's the guy that has got that close control. He can run with the ball, and he can also slide rule passes in between centre-back and full-back for the likes of Rashford and Saka to run onto. Then you've got Kane in the middle to finish. So going forward, that would be the 3 that I would play.
So you're saying you can essentially play a 4-2-3-1 then, can't you?
Yeah, that's the way I would go. Yeah, that's the way I would go. I wouldn't have Mount nowhere near the team.
That's the formation that they're actually playing, but it's the better formation with the players that you have, because you're having an attacking influence against a very defensive Wales team. You know, that's that's what England should be doing in that situation.
But
Yeah, they played that
4-2
in the last game, but in the first game they were 4-3-3. But
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
That 4-2-3-1 that allows you to be offensive and defensive at the same time.
Yeah.
And
You know,
you have disciplined wide players, as you mentioned with Rashford. He had a very good game in both ends of the game. Saka does that as well. So this is where Southgate's got to have the confidence to believe in his players and also believe in Foden, because you made a very good point, Gary. He, in that number 10 role, Foden could unlock runs. He gets the ball. He's got this no-look pass that he's got it down to a T. His movement, his touch. He can play that role, but the manager's got to have confidence in him. If he has no confidence,
that's what it comes to.
You're not going to see him do that.
You know, Foden will also track back and do the dirty work as well. And he can pick up the ball. He can drive with it. He uses the ball so well. And Mount, I just don't get the whole Mason Mount thing. I really don't. I don't see what he brings to Chelsea, and I don't see what he brings to England. I just don't
agree.
get it.
And look, he's a decent player, but is he in the upper echelon? I don't think he is.
Well, you know what it is, Apollo. You said it just now, and it's been said before. What does he do better than Phil Foden on a football pitch?
Exactly.
And the answer is nothing. What does he do better than Saka? Nothing.
Exactly.
I would say the only thing that Mount does, he's got a good long shot.
Yeah, but he never scores.
He's got a good long shot, but the player's not on form. And, you know, Southgate's putting players in positions that right now they're not playing fluid football, and that's holding England back. Today, when you saw Foden running that plays, you saw Rashford running that plays, you're seeing confidence. Confidence football, completely different. But that rigid, two defensive midfielders. You don't need two defensive midfielders or sitting back against a team like Wales. They're not going to hurt you in that regard.
So 18 killing me here. He's saying Ebony looks like she's watching a scary movie. When I saw that, I was killing myself laughing. G's saying hopefully Senegal do the business and send England home in the next round. These guys are just pissing on England's parade.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Senegal shouldn't be underestimated.
Exactly. But you know what? Big shout out to him, because Matt Turner's been excellent in this tournament. Yeah. I don't think he's had one bad game. And a lot of people came into this after the summer saying, you know, and I'm talking to Tony Cox and a few other players are saying they don't rate him. He's an accident waiting to happen. His distribution's dodgy. And I've seen him relinquish all those fears. And
to be honest, I was one of those people. Sorry, Ebony. I was one of those people. I'd see him in pre-season and I didn't think he was going to be all that. But in this World Cup, you can't fault the guy. He's made some good saves. His distribution.
But even when he played for Arsenal this season, Gary, he's played well.
Yes, in a couple of appearances that he's made, but in pre-season, he just looked shocking. He looked like his positioning wasn't all that. You know, his distribution, he looked shaky. But to his credit, he's obviously put in the work for Arsenal and the USA, and he's got his game to where it needs to be. So full credit to him.
Yeah.
So G's saying, I'm on it, Vincey. What can Wales do to improve? Well, the first answer to that question is they can't, because a lot of their players now are aging and are going to retire. And you have to remember that we brought forward the Euros was late because of COVID. So what they need to do is they can't move forward with Ramsey and Bale anymore. They're going to have to find new bookends to new young generational talent to build the team on. That's what they got to do. And for me, they came into this World Cup with the wrong mindset. They were too hesitant, tactically inept. They didn't give it a go. And there was a lack of pressing. There was a lack of width in their play. And they just looked inept. And unfortunately, you got to get rid of that. And you've got 2 years to do it. You build towards the Euros, and then you try and qualify for the World Cup again. And so that's where they are right now. They have to, if you make consecutive World Cup, that tells you a lot about yourself as a nation and as a football team. If you can make back-to-back World Cups, that means you're making progress. Unfortunately, we're not going to see a Ramsey and a Bale there in 4 years' time. So you need to get the dirty stuff done with the transition of your team now. Get that done now. Get the painful year or 2 years out of the way, and then try and build up towards the next World Cup. That's what I would do if I was.
You not see Bale. I mean, Bale. In 4 years' time, Bale will be 37.
I see Bale on the golf course in 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, they really have no other option outside of Bale at the moment. But they have to know from seeing this tournament that it isn't what they need. Everything's wrong.
I just feel that Wales just tonight and maybe against the Iranian team, they look like a pub team.
I think do enough Welsh players play for top clubs in top leagues? The answer is no.
No,
they don't.
No.
There's opportunities. If there are young players coming through, they're not getting enough game time. I mean, for me today, the biggest thing, it was a big game. We knew Wales were up against it, but the goalkeeper looked.
He's tragic, that Danny Ward. He's tragic.
He looked poor today, and you can't go to these games with those type of performances.
He's had a nightmare for Leicester in the first half of the season, isn't he, Danny Ward? He's replaced Schmeichel, and he's not up to the task. That's why Leicester was struggling so bad.
So let's take a look at this list I've got up here. This list, I can try and blow it up, but shall I just try and blow it up? No, it's not going to work. All right, this list is the average age of World Cup teams. And you can see Iran are the oldest team in the league with in the competition with 28 years and 9 months.
Wow.
Mexico, Argentina. Now that's a concern. That's a big worry. Brazil, not so much of a worry because Brazil's bench is ridiculous. Some of the young players that they've got who are not getting playing time is crazy. Not surprised to see Belgium up there, but look, we're not here for that. We're here to talk about Wales. And Wales are just above England at 26 years and 4 months. So that's actually not bad. That's better than I thought it was. I thought Wales would be somewhere at the top due to the nature of Aaron Ramsey and Bale and the players they're depending on. So this actually is not bad because that means that they're bringing in a crop of players who are going to be around at the Euros and the next World Cup. So that's not actually bad. That's the same as England.
Yeah, the difference is the impact players. They don't have enough impact players, and their impact players are old right now.
Agreed.
So this is where it'll be interesting. It'd be nice to see them still be around because I think it's been great for the home nations. I'd like to see Scotland back up there. I grew up watching the likes of Northern Ireland play good football and Republic of Ireland. So, it's not just all about English football. I like the home nations to have stronger squads and play more and better attractive football because, that's what kids, that's what they take the ball out on the pitch to go and do, score the goals and dribble and do that. So
here's the danger though, guys. 3 out of the bottom 4 teams, the United States, Ghana, who's the youngest team in the league by a long way. The United States' second youngest is 25 years and 2 months. Ghana's 24 years and 7 months. Exactly the same as Arsenal Football Club.
Wow.
Yeah, the next World Cup, Ghana's going to be a bit forced because physically they're strong. Technically, they have some good players. They just need to have a little bit more experience playing together. But, this World Cup is showing what they can do. And 4 years' time, that team gets together.
And this is the biggest danger, Vincey. The biggest danger is Spain. Wow.
25.
That team. Oh, yeah. And that team right now, I mean, some people even think that they can win this tournament. Some people are actually saying, look, they're the dark horse. Before the World Cup, I said, nah, don't be silly. And when I saw them play, I was like, whoa.
Ecuador.
Take their chances.
Yeah.
If Spain take their
Spain
chances,
look really good.
they'll cause any team problem because they create chances. And as you say, 4 years from now, it's going to wow, it'd be interesting to see how they develop. Injuries play a huge part in the trajectory of a team's chances, and you hope and pray as old Arsenal fans was that Thomas Partey would get through this tournament injury free, and we've seen the challenges that he's had since being at the club. So you look and you think, okay, if Thomas Partey is going to be an integral part of Ghana's chances in 4 years' time, you want to hope he's going to be fit enough to perform, because he's got everything to. My frustration in this tournament is he doesn't look like the player that we have at Arsenal. And if the player we have at Arsenal was playing for Ghana, wow, what a team they will be.
I think that's the players that surround him, though, Vincey.
Yeah.
And the system as well.
Yeah.
He did talk about that on TV. I did watch it. Was it on YouTube or Twitter? I think it was on Twitter. I watched it. It was a little clip of him talking about it. And they were saying, he said it's very different to the way I play at Arsenal, and the way the manager's got us playing is much of a smoother type of style, whereas Arteta wants to go and dominate teams. We already know that already. And this is just a different way of him playing, and he's not used to it. He's not accustomed to it. Any closing comments, guys? Ebony?
I would say that, England beat Wales, and, us four could have beaten Wales.
I'd have had to go and go. My knees are chopped.
I mean,
There'd be two in goal.
I'm still on the left, guys. I'm still on the left.
But the one thing is, it's like a lot of England fans will. Two things. A lot of England fans will now call them world beaters because they beat two teams they should have beaten anyway. And the other thing as well is Rashford scored 2 goals tonight. Yeah. Let's see what the coverage is going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, because that makes him joint top scorer in the competition along with 2 other players.
But
England's got goals. England's got goals in them.
England has got goals in them, but it's like, all right. So you've come out the group, a relatively easy group. Now this is the knockout stage. This is like you win or you go home stage now. Yeah. So now they've got Senegal. Don't underestimate Senegal, because I'm sure people in England especially have started to underestimate Senegal. These African teams have fire. Just so you know, these African teams ain't coming to lay down. So England have to bear that in mind. I'm sure England have been watching various games. So that's what I'm going to say.
Right. 18 has asked me who. Mbappe has 3 goals. Gakpo has 3 goals, who's been brilliant. And then Valencia from Ecuador. He's out of the Ecuador's out now, so we're not going to see them again. So it's realistically Mbappe, Rashford, and Gakpo all got 3 goals. And if you look at minutes per goal, Rashford's got 36 minutes per goal because he ain't played, he ain't started. So he's the one that's been crazy. 86% shot accuracy, I believe it was when I looked at who scored. So he's the guy right now. He's in the front seat. If they keep playing him and they start him and he puts his form on, he could really be changing things. He could be the golden boot winner. Isn't that strange? We're talking about the World Cup now, and Harry Kane ain't even hit the back of the net in the first 3 games. And then we're talking about Marcus Rashford, who's someone for club and country they don't want him to start. So, Vincey, closing comments?
Congratulations to USA. I think it's great in the development. And I really do hope they go far in this tournament. Again, congratulations to England, and it's just nice to know that kids in the street now are going to be happy, excited that England are through to the stages. And yeah, I just want the guys to stay injury free and just have a far a run as possible, man. Big up yourself, Greg, man. Your night, man. Celebrate, man. Celebrate. You've done it. You've done it playing good football.
Yeah,
like it, man.
Americans are going to be celebrating tonight. I've been watching the coverage on ESPN. CNN have been talking about it quite a bit. I do watch American stuff quite a lot actually because of politics and stuff.
Who do
Gary,
America play in the next round?
Holland. So
Holland.
Netherlands.
yeah, it's going to be
I think
Holland.
they'll turn Holland over.
It's going to be a great game.
Congratulations to England. Well done to England. Eventually got the job done. Before the tournament, I thought the quarterfinals was England's benchmark. To be honest, I think
France.
when in the Euros, I think we was the best of a kind of bad bunch, so to put it. Really, France weren't all there was cracked up to be in the Euros. We should have really beaten Italy once we got to the final, but scored after 2 minutes. Never had another shot on target in the whole game. I think that's down to the manager. I don't think Southgate's the guy, but I hope in the next round against Senegal, I think if he can just let them go and play, let these guys go and express themselves, the Sakas, the Fodens, these type of players, let them go and express themselves. And we've got goals in us, like Vincey said. Rashford can running in behind, Kane dropping that little bit deeper into the 10 role, slotting balls through, Foden coming from 10. We've got the players. He just has to utilise them. He has to be brave. Well done to the USA. I think they'll beat Holland, to be honest. I think Holland won't be a match for them fitness-wise because the USA just keep going and going with the press. So all in all, I'm happy. We'll see what Sunday brings.
Excellent, guys. So listen, that's it from us. Everyone at 101 is full-time here. England 3, Wales 0. They're into the last 16 where they will face Senegal on Sunday. 2 goals from Marcus Rashford and Foden, 2 guys who really ain't been starting for the team in the first few games. And it was overall comfortable evening for Darren Southgate, or Gareth Southgate, should I say. A heartbreak for Wales. I really feel for them. I know a lot of Welsh fans at work, and my manager is actually Welsh, and so he's not going to be happy today. But look, it's their first campaign for 64 years. And as I said, right now, they need to focus on building for the next one. So well done, England. And we'll see you guys again on Sunday. Big up everybody, man.